Good morning, welcome back. Have you had good sleep? Had breakfast? Okay. You know why breakfast is very important? Your brain will be activated. So, come to the mode of listening. Sometimes listening will come from this air and it will go out. Sometimes your brain will filter some information, you will be retaining it forever. So, some of the information which was told to me by my supervisor is still I remember from my undergraduate level. But all the information is not necessary to be kept in your mind. But main important element, how to act positively towards sustainability. That is your supply chain major students important message. If you are studying supply chain logistics, if you are working with logistics or if you are planning to do some business, definitely you should be in this line of sustainability. The reason is sustainability is not for today, whatever we see the way of sustainability may change. In the next 2 years we will say this is not the correct way of following sustainability approach. However, the meaning of sustainability like not wasting, sustainability is not only reducing CO2, not wasting, saving for the future and you are thinking about the future generation, all are sustainability. So, sustainability is going to be forever in our mind, but the ways of approaching towards sustainable way is different. So, ways are different in every way. So, you are choosing different paths to reach the final destination. Now, industry collaborations and partnership, that is our first focus for today. Industry partnership is having some agreements, all of you might be knowing. Every partnership is coming with some value, that value is agreement. If you are having the long term partnership, your profit is expected to increase. But long term partnership is coming with some underlying conditions, that first condition is trust. Trust is the main condition. And if you are all going to work in a global company, if you are working for some company say Walmart, if it is in India, you are going to work with other industrial partners outside the country. First of all, you have to show your dedication and confidence in the work what you are doing. The first lesson of our students, whether it is undergraduate, postgraduate or PhD, time management. Today I am very happy all of you have arrived on time, thanks to be on time. Okay. Today's session, when we are talking about industry collaboration, I am going to first recap certain things before we proceed further. And the second one, artificial intelligence, I talked to you about the Remit project. I asked you to see some of the videos or some website information. You might be having something in your mind. What we are going to do is whether we are going to use certain technologies for Indian context, because all technologies what we are using outside India may not be appropriate for this country, because we are not having the same level of infrastructure. Our facilities are good and our resources are good, but infrastructure is really missing in certain areas. What is missing? How can you fit in, how can you plug in those gaps using big data analysis? That is what we are going to see. And third session, it is beyond firm regulations. I am going to combine with linking marketing and operation, because marketing, without marketing you cannot sell your product, without operation you cannot produce your product. Everything should go hand in hand. So, we are going to see how these are going to be linked together in order to make higher level of profit in a sustainable way. And fourth session is going to be with our Dr. Manvendra Singh. Sorry for that, we call him MPS. So, that is very easy for me to call Dr. MPS will do it in the evening, right. Okay. So, the next step for today, we are starting with smart technology in logistics and supply chain. I want you to name smart technologies what you know at this point in time. As far as you concerned as a student, what are the technologies you are using, whether you can use it as a smart technology in logistical aspect as well. Logistics are not different from your routine life. For example, when you are driving, you are using your GPS. GPS is a smart technology. Obviously, this GPS can be used for the trucks, but trucks may not be in a position to use the same level of GPS because yours is minimum passenger travel. For truck travel they need different GPS. I do not know how many of you are aware of it. Truck is not having the same GPS. If they are having, it is very low level GPS. They should be having incorporated information of level of the bridge, because a truck will be having the higher height is higher, bridge height may be lower, and sometimes bridge will be having the weight load limitations. You cannot take more than 5 tons of weight. So, certain bridges are very weak, you cannot go in that route. As a passenger, if you look at your Google map or if you are using Waze, whatever you are using, it is giving you simple option where your car fit in. If you are going by cycle, it is another route for you. However, for truck we have separate GPS which are combining different aspects, route, height, weight of the bridge, and whether it is allowed, whether you are having the emission tax. In roads of London as well as in Delhi, we have emission fine. If you are taking your car and if the car is emitting more than a certain level of carbon, because every car has got the number, you have seen how to do it yesterday. So, this is only for your car, but imagine the government is having different websites, they are having emission data for every single car. If it is Nissan car, Nissan Pathfinder, if it is 3-liter engine, they know how much emission will happen if it is produced in 2010 or 2015, 2020. Every year emission level is changing. So, all this information will give smartly, that means nobody is going to look at the register every time. Once your number plate is registered in the camera, that camera will give the information how much is the emission of your car. Accordingly, you have to pay, it will be debited, otherwise you will get the notice. So, even if it is a key element is analyzing quickly, no manual analysis, is automatically analyzed and then it is going to the consumer like you. Okay. Now, let us see how the industry collaboration is happening, what are the roles of artificial intelligence, AI through projects. Why I am using project? Because books are slightly coming later with old information. If I am writing book, couple of years back I have published sustainable supply chains, but the information has come from before 5 years. That means, the information what you are getting from the book is much older than the current information. So, projects are the one which are live, and we have many 3 or 4 researchers here, they are all coming from the executive PhD stream and they know what is really happening in the industry. The industries are giving the projects to us and we are doing project for them. So, in that case we are giving the real time solution for them. You are young people, your mind is now fresh. It's, if I put some seed, it will be growing very slowly. When you are reaching 30 years, you will be the best person in logistics, if you are using it very effectively. Yeah, actually when I want to talk about efficient supply chain, I wanted to say something, let me see. Do you remember we talked about it? Efficient supply chain is required for the functional product, and if it is basic, you may have to have the standard level of delivery every single day. What is the effective supply chain? We did not talk about it because it is not in the book, but since it is not in the book, you cannot avoid it. Efficient supply chain was discussed in papers for nearly since 1998, since it was introduced by the author. Now, effective supply chain, actually I introduced this to my students and it was published in some of my papers. Efficiency and effectiveness, what is the difference? A person can be efficient, but not effective. What is it? Not effective means he is not hitting the target, he is working hard, he is putting effort. However, at the end of the day he is not achieving what is required to be achieved. Even if he is achieving, it is not in a very big way, impact is not happening. So, all of us are working towards sustainability, maybe efficiency is working towards sustainability, but we cannot make any drastic change. If you are making drastic change, then it will become efficient. This is one aspect of effectiveness and efficiency. The same way we are talking about our supply chain with smart technologies. We are using smart technology everywhere, we are very happy about it. However, what happens, let me show this example, then we will discuss. This is again from my project, you might have seen it in the same website. There are many companies, as I said, there are many companies we have fitted sensors. This company Levstone is one of the particular company which is working closer to London. They have fitted sensors for the truck. The truck sensor, as I said, it is not normal passenger sensor, it is for truck, different one, bigger truck. So, GPS was also including so many different aspects. The clients are the customers, whoever is getting from the company or sending through the company. Event log, sometimes event will be very big, so you have to give the product very quickly. Users and sensors are combined together, whoever is connected with the sensor, they can track it. Sensor is attached to the truck and GPS is also attached to the truck. So, they will be seeing where the truck is and what are the items getting deteriorated, getting wasted. So, wasted means not fully wasted. So, they can also see what is the condition, quality A, quality B, quality C. Can I ask him to reroute it? Not necessarily every time cloud is collecting data, people also can interfere in this stage. So, this stage is for interference of the users. User is retailer, user can be the end user. And there are several tasks to be completed. One truck will not be going from A to B, it will be going to different places and then it will go to the final destination. Phone book will be there, it is a voice connected phone book. I do not know what is bookmark, it is their local code for the company. Map places, this is very important. As I said, it is not just like Google, it will be showing every information about the bridge, weight, how much weight can be taken in the bridge. Some of the bridges, if you know, in European countries, bridge will again open when the ship is going. So, it may look like a road, but it is not a road, it is made by iron plates, big iron plates are closing and opening. Here the danger is when you are taking the more than 5 tons of truck load, the bridge will not accept it, because it may break, it will spoil the traffic. So, they will not be allowing you, this information is normally given in this kind of map places, and traffic as well. If you look at traffic, people will be cursing the vans in the morning when they are going to office. If you are going by two-wheeler or car, if there is a truck in the middle, you may say why this person is coming in the middle. Obviously, we are not very happy to have some hurdle in the middle of the road, but imagine if there are 10 trucks going in the morning, what will happen? The traffic will be highly. So, this information will go to the driver. This is again from your information through smart technology. Group links, this is another aspect. Exactly the company how they have made the group link, I do not know, but my understanding, because it is made by company, we have used only one part of one element of it. Other drivers may be linked to each other, they may meet or they may transfer the items from one truck to other, I do not know about it. So, messages can be seen by the driver, and emoji, you know what is emoji, and emoji is going to be used for different purposes. Big data, BDA, big data analysis will be using smiley face, wide smile, and if you are using this, it is a simple expression, but you know this is not going to work. If a wide smile means he is very happy, and sober face and it is not very happy, very sad, that means you are going to say your service is not good, you are not happy. So, what is the implication? If he is not happy, what does it matter to me? How does it matter to me? So many things are happening. It is important because customer should be happy. Customer is our first priority for any business. So, this is a simple app, as Indians we know that technology is not a big deal of thing, we can easily create it. However, just imagine if one thing is failing, the whole system will collapse. All your food and all your truck will be, it is not only food, there are other materials. So, this is very important element made by one small company, not necessarily small company, medium sized company, Livestone. So, vehicle tracking, it is helping the food companies to plan their food supply chain operations. How it is helping time? I will not be sending my fresh food at the time of peak traffic time. I will not send it. So, they can plan it. So, they will be planning it, and to receive the continual live sensor alerts and updates while truck is in motion. Truck will be moving. If anything goes wrong in the middle of the traffic, they will be rerouting it. The mobile phone in the truck and cab transparently and seamlessly, that means no in between, no missing of information, and it goes to the internet. Sensor data, it is going to the cloud, and then low cost technology is helping to save the several tons of food. As I said, every truck will be having 5 to 10 tons of food. It is a huge amount. So, it is having the impact on environment as well as it is having social impact. So, when we are talking about 3 pillars, we talked about this 3 pillars. If it is sustainability, what is the first pillar? There are 3 pillars, we talked about it. I said, what is it? Economics, social, environmental. Is it easy to measure? Environment, at least we have some calculations. Economy, we know how much GDP is generated. What about societal impact? How do you know that? Is it easy to measure? Is there any way in your understanding, how do I know that you are happy? So, if a simple example, you are all in the society, for me you are my primary consumers of the education. So, how do I know that you are happy about it? Customer satisfaction, okay, that comes at the end, right. I want to know in the middle of the service.
Ma'am, getting the basic necessity for the living.
Basic necessity, okay. Okay, you are coming to the point, need and want. Okay, you are going towards marketing now, okay. Need and want are 2 different things, yes. If I am getting what I want, I will be happy. Basic needs are already fulfilled, then I am going to the want. But if I want to know more, if you are paying more, want will become demand. So, something else is demanded. Now, you are all nodding your head. I will say you are achieving the second level. This is first level, second level, third level is what I demand I have to get. That is the third level. Here people are paying for this service. If people are paying for this service and if they do not get what they want, otherwise if they are not highly satisfied, I am not saying satisfied, if they are not highly satisfied, they may not be continuing this service. So, that is why they are having certain emoji in the middle of the movement as well, they will say they are not happy, the emotion can be expressed. If the truck is going from A to B, in between I said there will be different other places. If one truck driver is spending more time in loading and unloading in the middle of it, the next person who is waiting for the truck to get some item, not all whole item, he will not be happy. He will be putting some, instead of this he will put it is only emoji, emoticons, nothing else. That information it will be converted into that, what do you call, emoticon is a image. Image will be converted into text and then text will be converted into analytical content analysis. Automatically everything will be done only by computer, cloud computing, that message will be given to the driver. It's just imagine, it's a amazing work. When you are thinking of numbers 1 to 5, 5 is the highest satisfaction in the survey. If someone is saying 1, that means he is not happy, and if you are showing your bright face and sad face, it is very easy to understand for you as a person. but computer, your laptop or your mobile phone is capturing those information, automatically it is converted into the message to the driver. What an amazing thing, right? Can we do it here? We can do it here. Do we have it? You experts can say, do we have such system here in your office or in your, I think Tata must be having.
So we have the alignment with our vendors for the milk bag concept, where our truck will be moved from one company to other company. Every company will fit. They will take the material and they will in system they will give the confirmation by the driver itself as usual the vendor persons, and all information is coming to us from this vendor. The material has been picked, how much quantity and in which condition, that is already mentioned there. So we know the capacity of the truck also as usual, how many quantity the material has been taken, because suppose schedule is 50 pieces, but due to some constant they have shifted 25 pieces. That information also we gathering in the systems. That is highly based GPS based that material that is the tell like that MRP based basically.
Thank you. So we have this system in place. If you are making it as a live information, probably we can, yeah, let's carry on.
Ma'am, like in our coal mines, ma'am, we are having this vehicle tracking system is there, the VTMS system is there, where we have defined geomine boundary through which that truck and everything will move. It cannot go beyond that mine boundary. And whenever there is any inactive devices, such controls are exercised, and we have a alarm system over there which gives an alarm that the driver has gone out of the mine boundary, or they have picked up from the material from the wrong point. So those sort of alarm systems are there. And again we have the way, means both end web bridges are there, so that in both the ends, whenever there is any deviation from the standard norms, we get a signal and accordingly those things are rectified. And now that we have also a drone monitoring system over there, which can identify the untraceable objects, and they can send the signals so that that mount boundary is kept safe.
Okay, thank you. So that means we have certain technology in place to have safety measures, and if you are
probably the geo tags which are being used in the e-vehicles, they are also being easily tracked. In fact, here in our FTBI center, there is a person who deals in e-vehicles, and they use geo tags for the goods when they are getting transported.
So that means you have technology in place. Probably you can incorporate the movement of the truck and then emotions immediately into action. So actionable task, something can be taken in advance and you can act on it. Yes, please.
Yes, in our industry, what happens, there are more than 500 vehicles, trucks, tipper, everything vehicles there. We use IoT sensor in the engine itself for fuel measuring fuel efficiency. We have IoT sensor, how much fuel it is consuming and how much fleet has covered. So in this way, we measure and track every vehicle, what is their efficiency of fuel. And also what are the total flight he has covered in 1 month or 1 day. In this way, we control the logistic part, how much they are using our vehicle, and what are the percentage of utilization also we are measuring.
Okay, okay. So thank you. Yes, we are having, yes.
In our machine, we have the systems that the controller we have. The owner will be sit in his house, and he will track his machine, that the machine is idle or driver is working or not, and how much oil is on the machine. That is total how much hour per day the machine is operated. All things are in one system, in the mobile basically.
Okay. Thank you. So he is saying that manually monitoring through the tracking and then controlling manually. Yes, yeah.
Like we can find in all the high-end vehicles, TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system, that is there in the dashboard. They also inform the owner or the driver whether the pressure in all the 4 tires are intact or not. If anything goes below the norms, then they give a warning.
They raise the alarm. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, we have everything in place, but we have to put together all the smart efficiency. I am not saying effectiveness, smart efficiency. If all of them are brought together, then we can make a effective output. So, that effective output when it comes together. So, we are not having only this much. You can see this video as it is YouTube. We are not showing it here. There are certain smart cities, and when you are having these kind of trucks which are fully automated, not the driver, other than driver, everything is automated in the sense driver will be only driving, nothing else he is deciding. He is getting the message alert in the dashboard or the voice alert. So, everything is done by others. He does not need to worry about anything. He will not be thinking of scrolling his GPS to see what message is sent. So, that means his both hands are free. In the smart city, we are having this smart lane for automated cars. Still it is not successful in many countries, even in US we are not having, but I have seen it recently in Rennes. Rennes is in France. They are having automated small internally within the campus, they are circulating small automated small van. Anybody can just pop in and they can get off, but it is not going beyond 20 miles speed, that is very slow. So, still not fully in operation. We are seeing in Google videos and YouTube that there are many options, but still it is not 100% on the road, it is not safe. So, intelligent shopping, I told you yesterday, we are having it, I am using it. So, I am very comfortably feeling. Sometimes I feel if I am exceeding 100 pounds of weekly shopping, I myself stop, because my cart will tell me I am spending more than what I desire to spend. So, I can stop. And smart environment is collectively everything. Education has become smart. Nowadays, we are having all online education, hybrid education, but only problem is mindset has not changed. Technology has changed our lives, but our mind is not accepting the technology. We are happy to have the technology, but we are postponing the things. Now, AI is being used in the education. You might understand the positives and negatives. If your tutor is giving you something to read, you are reading it, but how much you are reading, you are just leaving it to AI. AI will prepare a report for you, right? But just imagine it will have some saturation point. If you keep on using AI, at one point it will not be having enough material. I myself, you can Google supply chain collaboration sustainability, Usha. I put these 4 things. It has created something from my own article. So, that means as long as article is produced by someone in these topics, I related my name. So, I could get my own article, it is collective summary. I can say that I repeatedly use certain words, sustainability, I could say from that particular summary. If just imagine if nobody is writing, after 20 years there is no material to be randomly selected. So, how many permutation and combination can you make? At a certain point you will be having some vacuum, saturated everything. That means, as a student you have to make education things. Smart buildings, we are not talking about smart buildings, we are going to talk about Internet of Things, because it is only about logistics. What do you understand by Internet of Things? The message what I said is exactly Internet of Things. Internet of Things, one machine is talking to the other machine without interference of the human being. So, when you are talking, when you are sending the message from your vehicle to cloud, cloud is making the analysis, sending message to driver, it is Internet of Things. The sensor is communicating with the cloud, sensor data is going to the cloud, that is Internet of Things. So, machine to machine we are having some communication, but one step ahead it is giving some solution as well. Normal, how to make sure of it? This is your job as a logistic person. How will you do it? I cannot completely depend on IoT. I cannot completely leave everything to IoT. As a logistical manager, you are sending some item from city A to city B. You are leaving everything to IoT. driver will take care of it, I do not need to worry. Suddenly the problem is coming to you, will you handle it manually or will you ask computer or machine to solve it? You will do it, right. That means what capability is required for you. You are all efficient. How will you make you effective at the situation? Do you understand my question? Problem is coming when your truck is moving from point A to B, and everything is solved only by the computer, Internet of Things. Suddenly there is a problem, alarm is raised, you have to solve the problem based on your efficiency. You have to make that solution as effective as possible. How will you do it? What is the responsibility of logistical manager at this point? I heard that you are all studying logistics, right? So, I am not asking this question to gentlemen, they know the answer, but I want some.
Ma'am, like we made this AI and human has made this for the easy working, like if you are doing a same work regular basis, we just provided to AI that just create this. But if there is a certain problem arises, the human have to do something, like our truck is going from one to B place, there is a certain problem is there, then if the same problem arising, we will say the computer will solve this problem or they can handle it. If there is a new problem, the human have to come, like we just if there is something accident happened, the AI will not do anything, the human can interact with any hospitals or any certain connection to that, some person will go to that nearby truck to help them or just do something for help from them.
Do something, okay, thank you. Yeah, you are going to do something, that is my question. What is our workshop? Resilience, right. So, resilience is based on, resilience meaning okay, we will talk about it. Do you think all these are representing in one way or the other about resilience? In order to be resilient, resilient meaning is you have to strengthen yourself to meet or face the uncertain events. So, when you are meeting something, you have to be ready for understanding the problem and reacting to the situation immediately. I have not given any problem as a name. I said there is a problem between A and B when they are traveling. I do not know what problems. That means I have to anticipate the problems in advance through experience or through books or through drivers or anyway, you have to make a list. So, in order to have the resilience, first of all I have to see how many problems could erupt at that point. So, if there are 10 problems, possible problems, name all of them and make a mitigation plan. Risk resilience is not normally happening in overnight, we have to be prepared. So, my risk, okay, I have risk number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so many risks are there, and if I am having for example, this is green color. This is normally we are teaching as a risk management, this is risk management course. So, we are having except 3 and 6 all are not highly risky. Let us say based on the color code I divide the risk. This is for simplicity purposes. 3 and 6 these risks can be handled very easily. Other risks are very risky and highly important things to be considered immediately. So, alert will go for person 1, maybe person B. There are 3 people handling this risk. A will get the alert, C will get the alert, again A will get the alert, B will get the alert. So, that means you are planning in advance who will be handling the risk based on the level of the risk. Low risk can be handled by the driver. What is the implication here? You are having 2 implications, you are allocating labor, you are allocating fund. If your car is breaking down in the middle of the road, it is a high risk. So, you cannot just leave it to driver, you have to call someone else. It is a high risk, so you have to pay some extra money for AA, road service. You are allocating some fund for it. So, investment is allocated, labor is allocated, the time is allocated, schedule. So, everything is in order. This is the way we are handling risk. Risk handling is based on the preparation, first preparation planning I missed it, planning and preparation. Then you are making the mitigation plan. Mitigation plan is detailed plan of what to be done within how much time period. Capacity building is based on your labor capacity and technical capacity, whatever capacity you are using for that particular problems. So, these are the risk handling approach. Based on it we are going to have the collaboration. Now, we are talking about collaboration. What collaboration do I need to have? This one is about food. So, let me go to the other slide and come back to it. Okay. Now, let me go to this slide. If you look at this slide, it is like very interesting to see, but there is a message here. When you are looking at the left hand side, this one, all these are very lucrative, very appealing, attractive, you may like to buy it. Today, I will definitely have these vegetables. It looks like it is very attractive, but in reality it will be not the same. Food wastage will come. If this is in different countries data, food is the same, almost all countries are having these capsicum, tomato, banana, I think it is cherry, carrot and brinjal, but food waste is happening in all countries. And food waste, this is average, as I said, this is average one for all global countries. Compared to this average, how much we are wasting? China, USA are wasting higher level of food, India is wasting at the next level compared to the average. So, everything in comparison. The lowest is, now we cannot talk about Ukraine, we will go to France. France and Italy are not wasting much. What is the implication? Risk management. They are handling risk very effectively. We are not handling risk effectively, and we are not talking about China, we can talk about USA. USA is not handling risk effectively because the growth of food is very high. They are not importing from other countries. USA has got many natural resources and they are growing all whatever is given, except I think banana, everything else is growing inside the whole country. So, they are having more and more supply. That is the reason the waste is happening, because not much of consumption. But India is not like that. We are not having any facility to, we are not having, we can't afford to waste. We are having supply, but we can't afford to waste due to imparity in the income level. So, this is the first one. If these are all waste, waste is happening this way. Now, let us come to the final one. Have a look at it just for a minute. What message do you get? Contribution of each commodity to carbon footprint. Look at this figure and then look at the graph above and then look at the waste. Now, you say what is the message in this? Contribution of every commodity, that means every fruit or vegetable to carbon footprint.
Ma'am, can you please just expand the image?
Let me try. I'll go. Blue color is carbon footprint, food wastage is orange color, cereals are like cornflakes, muesli, all this dried one. Shall we start? Okay. I will give one reason, then you can start. Okay, let me take milk first. In the milk, carbon footprint, food waste, both are the same. It is neutralizing. Okay. Carbon footprint is CO2 emission, and the next one food waste is the same, it is neutralized. How much they wasted is equal to the how much they emitted. So, they are not contributing extra carbon to the atmosphere, it is the same. So, I will not be considering milk as a very harmful thing. Now, you start. Anybody, will you start from cereals?
Ma'am, cereals are the processed food like this muesli and cornflakes and everything. They are made from basically corn and wheat and everything. So, they process it. That is why its carbon footprint is higher, and many people eat it out of fashion. Honestly speaking, means this celebrities promote it too much. So, the wastage is also in good amount because every people cannot like its taste. And nutritionist implanted that you have to eat it.
So, what do you want to say here? Carbon is higher.
Yes, ma'am.
Even the waste is lesser.
Due to the means processing.
Production and processing, because of processing. Okay. Anyway, yes. We will talk about vegetable now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vegetable. Okay, vegetable wastage is more because the quantities are by volume quantity is more. So that's why the graph ratio between carbon footprint and wastage is different. So here the vegetable volume is more, but carbon footprint is comparatively low as compared to the volume, because only it costs the transportation part.
Can I convert it into positive waste? Can I convert it into feeding for animal or something? Even though it is waste, higher waste, I agree. Can I convert it? So, I can make the mitigation plan here. So, this is called a risk resilience here for this particular aspect. You have to think where can you decide, which portion you are going to focus. Thanks for it. So, we are going to say what you have to decide what is good and what. If you have done IELTS exam, IELTS, International English Language Test testing system. IELTS is having such kind of drawing, you have to write what is the meaning, how can you explain it. The same way I am asking, here processing can be reduced, second one risk can be reduced by recycling the food waste. Okay. Can you please next one, anybody from meat? I think he is ready. Meat.
In case of meat, the carbon footprint is high because the water consumptions, and then again warehouse, then manpower is required to grow them, then transportation cost is involved, again fridging, processing. So, lots of activities are involved in various stages, preservation including, and wastage is less compared because it is consumed.
Okay. Thank you. So, he is saying that water resources emission, I am adding something, emission from body of the animal is very high. That is why meat is creating more emission. Last year in the report, government has given globally, they said pigs are emitting more, and size of the animal, if it is higher, the emission is more, and movement is, whenever they are moving, emission is more. because heavy thing is moving, heat is generated. So, emission is more. So, if you are considering all of them, but our globe does not have enough vegetable to support everybody's eating habit. Not many vegetarians are encouraged based on the production of vegetables. Some people in western countries, they are trying to move from non-veg to veg. It is creating problem in the pricing. So, prices of vegetables are higher than the meat, because if everybody is eating vegetable, we do not have enough supply. So, here in this category, water resources and emission from body of the animal, logistical services and supply chain processing, all these things are making more carbon footprint than the wastage. Milk, I told you, fruits and vegetables opposite. Fruit and vegetable, here it is like a vegetable and fruits almost the same, but opposite to meat. Carbon is less, so I am not repeating the same thing. So, here vegetables, fruits are the same, but it is opposite to your meat. Here production carbon dioxide is less and for food waste is higher, but still you can make use of it, you can make a circular economy. You can make circular economy based on this. And starchy roots, that means arrowroot, tapioca, those kind of rooted vegetables, sweet potato. If you look at sweet potato, food wastage is higher, and again the same. Why? Same like fruits and vegetables, nothing different, but it takes more time for growth. That means you are losing more money in it. So, economically you are not in a positive position because of wastage of starchy root. And but I found a solution for this through our other projects. Why do you waste those things? You can make it into powder, processed food. Arrowroot powder can be made. Even nowadays we are getting the sweet potato powder. Do not waste anything, process it. And processing will add some emission, does not matter, but economically you will be in a better off, economic position will go higher. Fish and fish is not making much of a difference. And what is it? Oil crops again food wastage, is it higher? I do not know about this. If anybody knows about palm oil or teal, sesame seed.
Actually happening because people earlier used to do like, let me take the example of peanuts. So, peanut in India was considered as a people, like it is not considered a rich man's food. So, what they do was peanut consumption was low, sometimes if someone will eat or not, and they did not when they used to take out the oil from those peanuts, they did not know what to do of it. So, they used to just throw it, like peanuts has too much oil, flax seeds has too much oil, they just extract the oil and they just throw all those. That is why the wastage is very much high. They could have used it
but
in
still
other
they
things.
have got the economic value out of it, right?
Ma'am, but they do not know how to use it.
Okay. So, because of these ways we are having global temperature rise, warming oceans, shrinking ice sheets, glacial threat, and we have decreased snow cover. It is very true. This year we have got snow in the month of November in Nottingham, where I live. My friends started saying that we cannot drive the car, it is full of snow, only for 2 days. Snow means it should be there for 5-6 days, then road will be black ice, then we cannot walk in the road. Nothing happened, within 2 days everything has disappeared because of climate change. So, this is happening. I am not sure how much it is directly correlated, but we can be one part of it to avoid these problems. Okay, now let us come to the main picture. Food waste is really happening, and we know that we have seen other problems. Sustainable collaboration, sustainable supply chain collaboration, how it is helping, and that is our main objective. When you are having the negative side of it, how can you make it as positive? When you are having so much of food waste, can you convert that food waste into profitable means money related ingredient for the other one? If you remember, I said this verband, have you checked it? Normally when I talk something, next day my students will be learning before they come. Have you seen what is verband? Verbend is waste of one processing will become ingredient for the other processing or other growth or other production, anything. So, same like fertilizer, we are making the biofertilizers and it's a waste. From waste we are creating some fertilizer, we are feeding to the plants. Same way we are having many different things. One example I said jasmine. Jasmine, once it is losing its value, that flower can be ingredient for the aromatic flavors. You can create some perfumes, you can create, even nowadays we are all wearing dhotis that got the flavor, it comes from real fresh, not fresh, one day old flowers. So, Verbend is possible, then how it is happening? Because of supply chain collaboration. Who is ready to buy? In the supply chain, if you remember, let me recall, upstream is the one who is supplying, downstream is the one buying. Now, when you are sending something out of value, that is there is no value for the product, who will be bearing the logistical cost? It is a very big question mark. If you are sending your unwanted thing to someone else, he is going to use, he will be benefited. So, that means upstream member just he is trying to get rid of the waste, he will not be paying anything for logistics. At the on the other side, supplier is buying it not for the price what he is paying is only logistical cost. So, that means buyer is not paying the price for the ingredient waste, it is a waste for other, but he is sending his truck to fill it from the other side. So, this is a kind of collaboration. We have 3 different collaborations. One is very basic transaction. Again, if you know, I have told these terms, now I am writing in good handwriting, you can take it, transaction level of collaboration. Next is progressive collaboration. Third one is futuristic collaboration. It is not in any of the books, this is the term I have created during my transaction is everywhere. These two I have created in my paper, you can check 2010 and 2011 papers. I used it. So, once it is published, you can use it in your document. Transaction level collaboration, it is not my word, everybody has used it. Transaction level is just give it a collaboration, here slightly of higher level. I will be sending my truck to take all the wasted item from other company, that is one level higher than transaction. Okay, now I am very happy, it is going on, my job is getting the item, wasted item. I started the production, my items are being sold, perfumes are sold in high volume, I am getting some money. So, that means he has gone to the next stage. Initially he just wanted, I need something, then he wanted something. Now, he has got more and more profit, he is going to the next level saying yes, I can trust this person. Instead of giving only the truck, I will pay some 5% of my profit to the collection of waste. If everybody is using the waste, the supplier of waste after his own production, he will be asking for some money, because that waste is not waste, it is ingredient for someone else. So, why do not I get the share of my profit from him? So, that level is becoming trusted, next level progressive. So, that is a progressive level of collaboration. Okay. I will be having 5 years contract with the same person for my waste, then he is contractually obliged to do the things. It is not obligation, it is a contractual level. This is called futuristic collaboration. There are many examples. Some mango pulp, I think it is very common in this country, you know better than me. Mango pulp is normally taken out, then mango seed is not used anywhere, right. Now, they are using it. Mango seed is also used for different purposes, and it is not going as a transaction level, they are going as a progressive level. And if it is used again and again by many producers, mango seed, then it will become futuristic collaboration. So, collaboration is not a buzzword, collaboration should have some meaningful development in the link. First basic thing is trust should be created, then everything will be all right. Okay, let us go for a break, and we will be looking at other aspect of the project. I am talking about these things from the paper and project. Okay. If you can't find them in book, do not worry, you can look at the papers. So, journal articles are giving great resource of information. One of you asked that how to read all the cases. There is a simple way. Read the cases which are very small, and you try to write a case irrespective of where you are publishing, start writing. That is the starting point. 2 pages of case study if you can write, if you say all information in only 2 pages, you are the best. So, writing is a habit which can be inculcated only by you. Nobody can tell you to write, nobody can open your, that will come in the future. Your brain can be opened, things will be put in, but it may come after 20-25 years. By the time you all will be very old. So, try to start writing your analysis, your paper. 2 things, case study analysis different, your paper is different. You will be improving your confidence is boosting really. So, you have to start writing. Okay, thank you. I will see after the break.
No questions for ma'am? All are clear? Okay, we will have a break for half an hour. We will rejoin.
Go to next. Let him open, I will change. PPT, I will move. Let him open. 11.
Just 1 minute. Hello? Sorry. इस जगह में इसे चेंज करने के लिए.
Okay.
No. चेक करते हैं इसे चेंज करने पड़ेगा. No, सेफ्टी की चीज़ है ना. This slide. 11 slide. 11 slide. ये कितना हुआ? हाँ.
11 में 11
Next slide.
हाँ, मैं मूव करूँ.
ठीक है. ऐड कर दिए हैं 6 slide.
What is the slide number?
11, 12. He added 1, so 11 or 12, you check it 12.
Okay.
Now he changed to 12. Welcome back. Every break will give you some new idea. Right? Before break, we have been talking about risk resilience, supply chain collaboration, and then how to collaborate with the suppliers in different levels. What is the relationship? Now, the relationship is once you know how much you are risky, how much your business is risky, identified risk will be converted into collaborative plan. If you are more risky, your collaboration will be very stronger. You have to look for desperately some stronger partners. And if you are having mitigation plan, you have to evaluate the mitigation plan. Mitigation plans are steps to avoid the problem or steps to face the problems with some solution. So, mitigation plan can be made well in advance with your collaborating partners, but only thing you should know what are the risks possible, otherwise you cannot do it. You cannot wait for the risk to happen and then act on it, it is not at all possible. So, mitigation is the one which is happening before the problem comes in. Whether you are from the logistical MBA or some other MBA, does not matter, anyway you have to do these things. Whether you are working for supply chain or logistics or working for any organization in the capacity of entrepreneurial orientation, still you have to do it in different capacities. So, here the main purpose, today I started with collaboration. Collaboration is happening for the reason, that reason could be for mitigating your risk. When you are mitigating the risk, you are having stronger attitude towards facing the future. So, that means you are having resilience. So, resilience is being preparedness, actually being ready for facing the situation. Certain situation like COVID, we cannot be ready because we do not know, it is a very different scenario, but once the COVID has started, all of us in every organization we have adapted technology, because we felt human interaction was useless. So, technology interaction is useful. So, they have started using IoT. Honestly speaking, after 2019 COVID, our improvement in technological side has got a greater height. Everybody will agree, right? Previously, we used to use technology, it was part of our life. Now, technology is our life. Without technology, we cannot go further in personal as well as professional end. So, this is the scenario. Now, when we are going for this, the next step is after collaboration, we are deciding 3 different collaborations. It is a basic, it is transactional, next is a progressive, futuristic. If you remember, I said about CPFR, I combine futuristic collaboration with CPFR plus technology. CPFR itself is based on technology, but here technology is IoT, AI, big data analysis, incorporating everything. If you are having IoT, you are having information from one place to other, one equipment to the other. AI is artificially, it is analyzing the data in order to make it as a capsule like information for the driver decision making. But how it is making, AI is interacting with big data analysis, every time not a person doing the analysis. Algorithms are already made, algorithms will be, that is the beauty, algorithms are made, if numbers are there, we are very clever in making the loops. We will be doing so, if the profit or if the road risk is 1 to 5, if 5 is there, I will give the highest risk value, but if it is not number, it is very different. Emoticons will be converted, faces will be emojis, thumbs up, face value. If you are putting 1 love symbol, 3 love symbol for the product or service, everything has got different messages. That means your conversion coding should be efficient enough to help the BDA, big data analysis. Big data is combination of data in the form of numbers, text, images, videos and any other form. Big data meaning is combination of text data means letters, numbers data, images, emotions, that is emoticons, videos and many other forms. It is complicated. Just imagine if you are telling your computer convert the number into image or convert the image into number. If you are not having anything clearly the idea, if you are opening your WhatsApp or Signal, I am really confused what is that symbol for. Sleeping, snoring symbol, and love, if I hate different symbol, and if I am having the angry face, some red color or only wow. So, I really do not understand the differentiations. That means, when you are coding as an analyst, you have to code everything in a way that it can be understandable. Tomorrow's session is going to be combining operations with marketing. It is a very important impact. Here we have to convert it only for the sake of driver or only for the sake of collaboration. But imagine if you are going further in the marketplace and doing so many other different things, collaboration should be stronger. Now, futuristic collaboration is required for highly risky scenario. If your company is highly profitable but highly risky, then you have to have a strong collaborating partners. That means you have to invest huge amount of money in collaboration. That collaboration is leading to collaborating the information exchange as well. So, one is having the cascading effect. If you are having stronger collaboration, you have to invest. If you are having investment, it should go for IoT development. If you are having IoT, you have to build something for BDA. If you are having BDA, automatically AI is embedded. So, nothing is going to be in silo, everything is incorporated within that collaboration. We have seen it, I am not going to talk about. Okay, now we have got 3 pillars. 3 pillars are going to help, but collaboration, if your collaborating partner is very much ecology is environment, he is interested only in economy, he is not interested in society or ecology, that is the environment, what happens? Your collaboration will fail. So, what is required here in this case? Similar sustainable objectives. We are bringing in objectives. Every company will have the vision statement and mission statement. If they do not have sustainability as one element of it, that company will not be your partner in the future. They will be partner for now, but they will not be partner for the future. So, when you are selecting the partner, you have to make sure that they are having the social awareness, they want to have a image in the society. That image is done through the sustainable approaches, sustainable objective. This is a common word, you can see it in every company's document. Our sustainability objective is to achieve a 50% reduction in carbon emission by 2030. Those kind of objectives are given. If the company is not interested, you cannot go for collaboration. So, this is another reason for the collaboration. Economic sense, reduces hunger is societal. Only food companies will be talking about reducing hunger, but others will be talking about how the society is changing. I would say technology, especially your telephone communication technology, has not taken you to the positive direction completely. You are all looking at the phone now. I feel you are all okay. Youngsters, undergraduate students, they are fiddling with the phone rather than using the phone effectively for positive purposes. That means, if you are making change in a society, it should be directing them towards progress, not in the other way around. But it is a complicated scenario for businesses. If they are introducing new phone, they will ask you to make use of the different applications. That means, you are spending more time in dwelling into the applications. So, it is unavoidable. When your partner is having some similar objective, then you can collaborate. Even some companies are collaborating without sustainability, because both of them are not paying attention to sustainability. So, collaborating partners should have the same viewpoint. So, similar sustainability objectives, same viewpoints, otherwise collaboration will not be successful. Okay. Now, you can read, this will be in the slide. When you watch video tomorrow, it will be released, you can watch the videos. This is example from the technology related industry 4.0, big data, IoT, business analytics, all are combined. When I said all are linked to each other, when you are having one tier, this is edge tier, platform tier, enterprise tier, technology people like them, they are using this, but not normal people like us. small businesses will not use. So, storage, protection, gateway, you have the gateway and yeah, let me explain this. I have done a small project with one of the beer making company. Beer is produced from what? Oats also, that means all natural products. So, when you are making beer, they have to ferment it for some time, and the actually grapes we are not using, it is only oat. Oat is abundantly growing in Scotland. Oats are taken and they are put it in the one side of the factory, everything happening in only one factory under one roof. So, no wastage. That oats quality normally it has to be checked before they are fermenting it. They will ferment it before pressing. So, fermentation will give the alcohol percentage. If more fermented, the alcohol percentage will also be more, but the quality control comes in different forms. If you are storing in a place where temperature is not controlled, the quality of oats will not be the same like the good oats. That means you have to maintain the temperature. If you are not interested in those things, for example, gateway is used for checking the monitoring the temperature, checking the quality. There are many different sensors. Gateway will collect from the sensor a volatile organic compound. If I think that lady, she must be knowing VOC, right? Volatile organic compound. Yeah. Do you want to say something? Okay, leave it. So, volatile organic compound is one kind of sensor which will be talking about organic compound within that particular oats. Other one will be talking about sensors. All the information from VOC sensor, temperature sensor, we have even have the fluctuation sensor, but we will take only 2 examples. These 2 will go to gateway, that information will be collected. Okay, these oats can be used, even one small dana, if it is becoming green, that means it is a fungus attacked, you cannot use the whole pack. After that they will be using different ways of storing and then moving. Finally, it goes to, let me come to this, it has come to the store, data is given, big data analytics happen, operations, many operations are there, artificial intelligence is used, then the data goes to the CRM, customer response management, or consumer. What is CRM? Consumer, so consumer relationship management or customer response management, both are used interchangeably in different literature. Here we will use the normal one. Okay. So, some relationship management, RM is common, whether it is consumer or customer relationship management. What does it mean? If there is any problem, immediately he will be the alarm raiser. He will be raising the alarm. What does it mean? Now, we are going back to the original point, risk and resilience. So, he is nowadays we call it as resilience manager, risk manager. There are hundreds of new job vacancies are created now. Now, they are not asking for only CRM, relationship manager is gone now. We are having different post names, risk manager, resilient manager, supply chain task handling manager. There are many different names, but everything is coming under the dealing of problems during the important times. So, they will be doing it, everything is automated in the industry. But is it common in India? Is it common for all SMEs?
Ma'am, no.
No.
Fair use will be different in the software, that CRM software that we use will be different in case of industry. Like for example, Honda motorcycle, they will be using a software where they will look after the customer vehicle coming to the workshop, getting repaired, and after that what is the feedback of the customer, is he satisfied? If not, then where is the problem lying, they will try to rectify the problem. So, similarly in other industry it will be different.
It will be different, yeah. But if you have got the capacity, industry can change the way of functionality, but they should have the basic things in place.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
basically here the SMEs, the manufacturing SMEs are the upstream partners of large companies who are providing them funds as well. So when the large companies make the initiative, the SMEs can benefit in an indirect way from those companies, installment of these CRM things from their side.
That's why we are having collaboration. SMEs are indirectly being benefited because of the collaborating partners. Everyone cannot be big company.
Madam,
Small companies are
for
yeah.
small scale industries, what is happening? What customer is providing the technology to them, they have to follow. And they have the collaboration with each customer, which system they have to follow. And they are providing the technology in the vendor end. The customer is providing the technology to the vendor. So
customer providing to the vendor.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Because the system must be user friendly. So they are collaborating as well as per their requirement, customer requirement.
But I heard that TCS is the company which
TCS
is
providing service to all industries, but things is that prior to the customer it is varying. The program or the digitalization is varying from the product wise, function wise, like that.
That's a good point. User should say what is needed. Then the parent company will be providing the technology in line with the expectation from the user. Yes.
Ma'am, like a CRM is used in a small stores also, like a new billing system, the online billing system is introduced, like a normal general store having a billing system, the online billing system, where the all the bills are transferred to the mobile phones, and that they are getting all the information and offers on a mobile phone through WhatsApp. They are using, some of them are using the smart billing system where the technology CRM is used.
Yes. So yeah, that means according to the level of the company, they will be using in the system, but not in a big way. If they are collaborating with a big organizations, they will be getting help of the big organizations to implement all the system what they are using. So it depends on the size of the company, but parent company normally will be helping the small companies. Okay, and we talked about it, so I am not talking much about. Already I talked how we are fitting the sensors and how the information is going to the cloud. So we will not be doing much, but what I want to highlight, which is not done so far, I talked about food waste, smart sensors, and RFID tag I have not talked about. RFID is radio frequency identification tag. The tag is not used by everyone, but it is used mainly certain companies like IKEA is using RFID. RFID tag itself is some value. We cannot put it for the smaller one. Yesterday we talked about a small barcode, not different from this one, almost the same. If you are using RFID tag, you have to pay money for the tag, an RFID reader, and then we have to have some console which is collecting everything again. So it is very pricey choice. Some companies are using. For supermarket, sensor can support decisions. As I told you, if you are looking at some of the supermarkets, they will be sending really real time data. So you can see where it sold, how much is sold, like Amul Dairy, we talked about it. Sensors in smart fridges, about the company which we have called as not Vehicle, one African food company. Yes, African food company, we talked about fridges with sensors. But nowadays fridges are having sensors even in the household. We can use our fridge in my house, I can use a sensor, and I can monitor from my office whether I have milk in the same condition, milk, even how many pockets of milk I am having, that also I can see. So these are all quite common nowadays, but what is not common here, these two. Smart garbage bins. Have you seen any solar panel on top of the garbage bin? If you are putting small, actually it is available in South India, I have seen it in one of the institutions, and we install for one of our projects as well. Smart bin which will be, see for example, if it is a 50 liter bin, on top of it small solar panel. That solar panel will be compressing the bin inside. because of the heat it will be compressed. Whatever you put, it will be compressed inside. So, you can put more and more item, you do not need to remove it every 2 hours. So, this is available in many different parts, small change to avoid the waste. And then what is the implication? Once it is compressed, it can be taken to the anaerobic digester if it is a food waste, easily you can recycle. So, you can put more items, collection time will be same for every day, and collecting people will take it to the anaerobic digester. So, this is one way. Big data solutions via food sharing app. Olio is the app we are using in UK. I do not know what app we are using. If there is extra food, even at household, if you are having that app, you can say I am having extra rice, anybody can come and collect. The message will go to everyone, whoever is registered. So, you will never have hunger in the country if it is happening, but how many of us are doing? People will not be ready to collect food, even if they are not having food, they do not want to go and collect. If you are going, then transportation is involved for the passengers, how can they go and collect it? So, in 5-star restaurants normally we say they are always wasting food. We cannot avoid it. If it is a food, only cooked food, we can distribute it to charity. If food is wasted in table, how can you collect and give it? Still they say we can put it in a box and then we can take it. Who will eat it? So, it is not feasible to go with those options. Here Olio is the one which initiated a small app. Every household can connect with anyone. There is a security issue always, there is security issue, I do not deny it, but you can register, you can also download from any country, but you are not going to get food from Olio from UK. So, you can create something like that. Do you have any such app here?
There, but a NGO is working in the same concept, that's I guess Robin Hood NGO. So, they collect food from big restaurants, parties and everywhere, and they distribute it.
Yeah, that is making extra logistics. Olio is targeting people who are closer. If flat A is in say Odisha, sorry, here closer to me, people who are living here, they may go and collect it without having any logistics, that is possible. So, think of it, you are all youngsters, you have capability, think of some application, do not take it as information, take it as a serious actable solution for food waste. Okay. So, actable, actionable are the one who can say actionable, we have it for tomorrow, actionable variables. Actionable variables and simple variables are different, we will talk about it tomorrow in detail. So, challenge, I talked about this. So, 12 partners, then 5 added. So, we have got more than 17 later. So, this was added, some more added later. I worked here when I did the project. Levstone was our partner. So, all have dedicated time for this project, it is done now. Okay. Now, final, almost final for this particular one, big data analysis. As I said, big data is combination of different forms of data, mix of text, numbers, images, videos and other forms. Big data analysis is mainly used for identifying pattern of food waste, who is making food waste, how many times they are making food waste. But here the question is, how do you know, who will say that I made a mistake, it is wasted? Nobody will say it. If you are having the tag in the bin, imagine the bin is kept somewhere, tag is already there, somebody is filling it, the data will go, the bin is filled with extra food or extra waste, easily you can track. It is a very simple solution. One time the RFID tag, if it is fitted with the bin, you do not need to go and ask anyone. We are all not happy to waste food, but we are wasting. Sometimes it is unavoidable. So, here identify the pattern of food. If you know the pattern of food waste, today morning people have wasted so much of food, that means morning this much of preparation is not required. This is the information. So, you can avoid waste by knowing in advance, and then identify food at risk. If you feel truck is truck is not going to reach the point C, from A to C, something is definitely going to happen, then you can plan. So, you can go to C. I told you based, sorry, you can go to B. I told you based on the sensor, but you can plan in advance if you have that feeling. So, if you are having the big data, it is much easier. If you do not have the big data, still you can plan it. Artificial intelligence are helping, we talked about this. Now, let us talk about optimization. What is optimization? Have you used optimization? Route optimization, that means? Say it, sorry.
Best utilization of resources.
Best utilization of
maximization of the resources.
Yeah. Here best utilization of resources are coming as a transport. So, what transport you are using? Are you covering the route in a shorter way? Can you cover everything? A best example is Amazon. They are having maximization of routes, that is route, which route the car is taking to go to the destinations. How many passengers, sorry, how many customers can be delivered with the parcel? This is called route optimization, route maximization, optimization. So, we can go for Amazon. Any other example? Amazon is using it. Any other company? Flipkart, are they using? DHL is using?
Netflix.
Netflix, how?
So, in Netflix, whatever we browse, the data gets stored and they utilize the data. Netflix is utilizing the data, what is the content that the viewer wants to see, and based on that they buy and purchase movies or serial accordingly. So that
So,
the
they
customer
are maximizing the viewer's point.
Yes.
Maximizing the viewer's interest.
Yeah, as per their need, the content they are buying and they are delivering to the customers.
So, that means you need to do the modeling. Yeah.
An old example is that Dabbawala of Mumbai. So they are also earlier days optimizing the delivery points, collecting all the dabbas in at one point and delivery point also segregating accordingly. So it is an old example how they are utilizing it.
Old example, many of them may not be knowing. I will explain. Yes.
Ma'am, yet another example is regarding the shared Ola cabs and the Uber. They are optimizing the route whenever there is any shared passengers and co-passengers. They are utilizing it in such a way that same route persons are being allotted that particular vehicle, so that route maximization and this can be done.
So Uber, Ola, car share, they are accommodating more and more passengers in order
more
to maximize.
More passengers, the same route they are trying to cover that.
And let me say about Dabbawala before I come to you. I will forget it. Yeah.
We can consider the example of BSNL as well for the connectivity of calls and everything. BSNL did, and now Airtel is also doing it by introducing the Airtel. We can pay via the Airtel app, and it is very easily getting hold on the scam calls which are conning people on a large level. So this can be an example of.
Okay, thank you. She wants.
Ma'am, optimization can also be used within an industry, like in case of beverage industry. I will connect with the VOC and the optimization. Okay. So, after the production of booze, we are packaging them in bottles and providing a certain gap so that the volatile organic compounds, they get the room for their reaction and the bottle might not get blasted. Okay. तो optimization हम ऐसे use कर सकते हैं कि those bottles have not that much of gap. They can be rerouting to another section and they will be rectified with that gap. So optimization can be used at that.
This is another way. I have never thought about it. Thanks for it. So everybody has got, thank you. Everybody has got different experience. She is working at the Office of Agriculture. Okay, Food Corporation of India, FCI. So, she is having different viewpoint. So, in an essence what we can say is we can use the routing effectively to maximize or optimize the benefit. Here food owners in this project, food owners, truck drivers, warehouse managers, all are connected using dedicated smartphone, only one app, small app connected everyone. So, waste is completely avoided. I think 0.01 percentage waste, they have given the testimony how much waste is avoided. That is a biggest challenge for any project. That means, every business is doing kind of work which have to report to the government how much waste is rectified through IoT or through some technology. Now, Government of India, I heard that they are also supporting technology incorporation in any business. So, it is not impossible to gain such positivity using technology. This is the one already I explained, the truck is sending the message and that message is going to the through the phone, somebody else is looking at it. Nowadays, previously when we started, it was analyzed by physical person, somebody was using the computer and doing. Later on, we have got some algorithms, so automated, it was automated later, initially it was like this. So, I am not talking this again. Let me go to identify patterns, we have done it, food at risk. Now, artificial decision support, you might be having decision support in different levels. Every time we will not be having decision based on the computer, not based on the artificial intelligence. Some judgmental decision should be taken. That is why we are having, so judgmental, we say this is very judgmental, but judgment based decisions are needed when? My question, this is my question. Judgment based decisions are needed at times when? Give the key.
The decision support is required in the IoT because in IoT what is happening, we have decided some parameter which can be sensed by the sensor. But actually really for the as per situation it can be done or yes or no, that decision is coming in different authority. Suppose in logistic, yeah, other things also, what is happening, suppose some vehicle is half loaded and full load truck is the our capacity, but that vehicle will be come to the plant or not, that decision will take from the lower level. After the suppose some accident had happened in the route, who will take the decision? So, decision support system is included in the IoT system, that is the total in delivery system, logistic system, that is required, because every stage the decision making authority is different. So, it is required for the in IoT and other systems.
Okay, thank you. So, rightly he mentioned every time we cannot leave the decision to IoT, yeah, give it to her. We have to anticipate the unexpected. So, normally we say expect the unexpected, so you will be ready for it. Try to be ready for the unexpected and it will happen. That means, human intervention is not replaced by anything, it cannot be replaced completely. We have to have the human intervention, but the human intervention to the minimal level. So, you can avoid the salary for labor, we can have the IoT, other data, AI, big data analysis, everything in one hand. Certainly, you need some supervisor. Yes, you want to say something?
The main problem with this IoT sensors is that the data which are provided by IoT may or may not be accurate and reliable, because there are some technical glitch which usually gives wrong data. We are using some IoT sensor for other purpose of condition monitoring of equipment. Many times what happens, this IoT sensor malfunctions due to short circuit or due to weather effect or non-proper maintenance of this sensor, they give the improper data, which may lead to wrong decision and wrong data. So, it is very important how much reliable of the sensors also, because if you are going for non-reliable sensors and low cost sensor, it will give wrong data, definitely adjusting your judgment capability.
That means, you have to make the assurance the quality sensors are fixed. Yeah. He said okay, that means too many people are talking about quality of the data. So, quality transparency is one thing, quality is another thing. So, we talked about 3-dimensional thing, if you remember, cost, quality and time. Cost, quality and time, when you are talking about quality, it is related with the cost. If you are paying less money, the cost is low, so quality is also compromised.
Ma'am, like man can make a mistake, but sensor cannot
make mistake if it is quality product.
Yeah, but for this the quality product, we can just do one thing like a regular check by a human.
That is what risk resilience. Yes. So, you are answering your own question. See, when you are having the product, you have to check it. How many times do you need to check based on the quality? And if you are putting the quality, high quality, the cost is linked, and these are all like a cycle. One is having the cascading effect on the other. We cannot compromise quality, I agree. Now, this is example.
Madam, in industry we follow the CLITA. For in every beginning of the process, we will do CLITA. So, yeah, CLITA is basically that health of the sensor. We will at the beginning we will check up the health of the sensor by different methods. Something cleaning, lubricating, like that. Yeah, that is that whether real data is coming or not. We are from the beginning of the systems. Will every day we will check and we will confirm the system to that it is okay. After that we will go for the take the data from the systems.
Actually, he is right. I can say something before he takes the mic. See, there was a situation in this case. It was a real situation. It was given in my paper. Where is that? Sorry, I have got. Yeah, if you remember, I said this is a vending machine, M-chop vending machine. What happened? The system was defrosting. The fridge was defrosting. Fridge is a backside of this display. But when fridge is defrosting, if you keep your temperature, the temperature will be the same. It will not drop, temperature will not drop, but the product will be defrosting. Check in your household fridges, it is the same. That means the temperature may drop for 0.5% or 0.05 degrees. But finally, when you look at the product, it would have been defrosted little bit, especially ice creams. So, that means this sensor has given the information. I do not say it is wrong information, correct information, but the threshold level. If you are having a threshold, say if your temperature is fluctuating, this fluctuation is allowed until this. So, allowed fluctuation, here the threshold is this much. So, if it is going below this point, above that point, the alarm will be raised. But the product is losing the quality. So, the quality control is based on what threshold you are setting. So, in this case it so happened a manufacturer did not notice because it was within the threshold. Suddenly the beep sound was very high in the midnight, and then somebody has gone. Nobody can go in the midnight, they were very sleepy, they have gone in the morning, some of the item was defrosted, and then again it has gained that ice. That means, if ice is build up, meaning it is not a good quality. So, they have removed it and sold it to the other one. This is one example. They are not having only one vending machine, thousands and thousands of vending machines, some of them are in the hospital. Hospital means someone is sick or somebody is coming to visit the person. So, they have to be maintaining the quality. What I am trying to say is sensors are there, quality is also good, but sometimes your evaluation is wrong. So, you have to incorporate anomalies. Anomalies are the errors, but errors are not counted, errors are not captured. Okay, now sorry, you carry on.
Ma'am, obviously these IoT devices with these sensors can be a good option, but ma'am, whenever it comes to human safety, but again there has to be human interventions. In fact, ma'am, we tried with this IoT devices and sensors in our mining operations to reduce certain accidents and all. There was certain reductions. Obviously, there were certain reductions on account of accidents, like when a vehicle is moving backward, the dozer, the dumpers, you might appreciate, are so huge and humongous in size, that a driver is not able to look behind at whoever is standing or not. So we had used these IoT devices, but again there were certain fatal accidents where these IoT devices were not able to send up the signals or not able to act in time, and we had a disaster. So obviously when it comes to safety, then we still feel that some human interventions are required whenever, even if the IoT devices are put in place.
That is true. I agree with you. Safety is not, it cannot be compromised.
It's not non-negotiable.
And sensors in the cars, for example, in passenger car, we are having 4 sensors normally for reverse, and camera is also there. But sometimes due to weather condition, when it's cloudy, the sensor is not working and we cannot see exactly what is at the back side. These are all the normal problems. Instead of making it as a okay chalta hai, we can do one thing. Now I have the feeling sensor should have the wiper. I have the feeling, but I am not able to put wiper for the sensor, and cameras I cannot wipe it. But this is a common woman's expectation. Who is going to take it further? That is a problem with our system, not only our system, globally. As a consumer, we are having so many different expectations, but it will not be reaching. If you are working in company, car company, tell this is my expectation, what is your expectation. So, it can avoid certain accidents. Okay. So, this is the one we are talking about. Let me go with few things. We have done this, I am not going. Okay, sorry. Benefits. That is exactly the point is ended with him, improving staff well-being. When you are having the technology, if you are saying I want to invest, investment is not only for the sake of improving your benefit, profit, it benefit of the others, especially improving staff well-being, round the clock access to healthy hard food in that company, but if it is a different company, for different things. For mining company, healthy staff and avoiding accidents, those things. So, benefit is the same, only for the company to company the subjectivity is there. So, now real time monitor, it is important. Real time monitor is alerting the management system. You will get the alarm. Alarm is raised. It is not only temperature, something else. For example, if you are conducting an event, everybody is eating and there is poison in one of the ingredients. No one noticed it, especially mushroom related accidents are happening, food tummy is affected because of a poisonous food. Nobody has noticed, alarm has come, somebody has ignored it. That means the whole event will be ruined because of small thing. So, in that case monitoring and alerting system are very important, and offering a smart messaging technology and off-site monitoring, anybody can pick up. In this particular company, not only one person monitoring, all the staff members are having the beeping, beep machine, and now it is not beep machine, we are having only with the mobile phone, beep will come in the mobile phone. If one A is not going, B will go, if B is not ready, C will go. So, it is kind of arrangement made in the company. If there are 100 employees, at least one will be ready, quickly he will go, not everybody will not be ignoring. If you are giving the responsibility, that group will go, any one in the group will go. So, it is not uncommon, it is common in everywhere. Longer shelf life, if you are having technology related quality, it is environmental friendly, we are avoiding waste, we are supporting greenness, improving safety. Okay, let me stop here. If you have any question, we can go with the next slide, next session. Okay, I want to talk a little bit more about this in the next session.
The CRM chapter you have seen, feedback system, feedback mechanism, that will be an input for any decision making process. Many times what happens, whatever the feedback we are giving or any customer gives, it is not the real feedback. Suppose whenever you are going to restaurant, they ask how is the food. We also try, yes, very good. But the real thing, we never told them what was the reason. Even if they give the feedback form, we just okay, it is good. But internally, we are not saying the what is the truth. And internally, we decide whether next time we will come or not. That is different thing. So based on this data, whenever they will give any statistical analysis or data analysis, that accuracy may not be same as it is as per the given data. So how to overcome these things in industries?
Yes, there are two ways of data collection. One is customer data, one is actual data from the event and from the machine. So, the truck related data, nobody is interfering and putting the data, it is automatically generated data. So, automatically generated data are more reliable and customers data are subjective. Subjective data are not incorporated directly into the system. Except for delivery of food, the truck is not using it. They are saying why they are unhappy because of the time taken. They are waiting for it, the truck has not come. So, business is giving some less satisfaction, it is acceptable. It is not subjective, it is based on the situation. So, for customer based data, I will say tomorrow that is our case. Customer based data, how much importance do you need to give based on your mood? Today you may feel that this lady is teaching well, I like it. Tomorrow you may not like it, that is your subjectivity. So, how can I take this as your real emotional data, or whether it is a unbiased data, or whether it is something else? So, what are the drivers making you to choose that particular aspect? So, we will be doing it in marketing, that is related to marketing, I will tell. Thank you. Now, shall we break for lunch?
Any more questions? You can ask related to your topic as well, those who are working in logistic and supply chain. Any doubt, any queries if you all have? Anyone?
Not necessarily logistics. We can ask questions about risk, resilience, supply chain sustainability, because this topic for our 4-day, 5-day session is risk, resilience, supply chain sustainability. Anything?
Any questions in your mind? That might help you in your dissertation as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So, for the next session, when are we meeting?
3. Again, welcome back. This is a 3rd day session and it is a session 3 for the 3rd day. We are having one more session, and so far I have taught you, as far as I know, you are familiar with supply chain, you are familiar with collaboration, you are familiar with upstream, downstream, pull, push, because we need pull and push method for the marketing purposes, and we have not seen one other main aspect, which is horizontal integration and vertical integration. I will do that after this slide. It is not given in this slide, but you should know as supply chain educators, supply chain learners, you have to know what is upstream, downstream, push, pull with vertical, horizontal. So, let me first finish with this. We have to validate every single element in the supply chain. If you are using IoT, you have to validate it. And in the morning we talked about risk resilience. If you are having risk, why it's happening? The risk is happening because you are not validating this point. If you are validating, you will never have the problem. So, first let me start with the sensors. Sensors are starting with different types of sensors we are having. We use LSIS, and other companies locally they will be having different sensors. As I said, temperature sensors, VOC sensors, vibration sensors. Vibration sensors are used for egg, transporting egg. If there are too much of vibration, sometimes we sarcastically say egg will become small chicken, right. So, that means vibration should be avoided. Vibration sensor, there are many sensors we can fit it. Temperature, humidity sensors are normally used sensors for any company. This will be confirmed by any company whom you are talking to. It is not only for this project, for any project this is the situation. So, what are the sensors required? You have to analyze, then from those sensors collect data and then connect the sensors to the cloud. This is a big investment, it is not small investment. You have to make sure that your data is being collected. All of you might be having Google Drive. If you are paying some money, 100 GB is free to you. It is not free, but it is very minimum amount you are paying. But for every live data, it is having every day it will be 100 GB of data, because every minute, every second it is monitoring. So, the data will be accumulated, it is more than 1 terabyte sometimes it is 10 GB based on how much fluctuations are happening. So, you have to send it to cloud. So, imagine if you are having one regression equation as you have studied in the school level, you can use even simultaneous equation. If you are having x plus y is equal to 5, 2x minus 3 is equal to 7, what is x and y? These questions you have done it. Having two variables. If a data point has got different sensors, every sensor has got 5 different variables. If there are 10 different sensors, 10 into 5, 50 different variables. It has to be collected, stored in the cloud. Okay, data is collected, which form? As I said, it is a big data. It can be number, degree centigrade, degree Fahrenheit. And VOC means how much contamination, whether I have got any name for the contamination. We have food scientists here. Any name of the contamination? Fungus, is it one contamination? Clostridium, okay.
To make curd from milk.
Okay, so
Positive contamination, ma'am.
okay, that means some contamination.
Yes,
There are many, not one or two. There are many, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
So, thank you. Contamination, there are many different types of contaminations. You have to identify them. So, again 5 different variables, and you will be having so many in the cloud. Sometimes your brain is getting confused. Similarly, the computer will also get confused. You have to streamline those things. So, when you are having this server, how can you create and how can you store it? Who will be holding all these things? Scientists can understand the contamination data. I cannot understand. I can understand temperature data. I can understand something which is very easy for me to understand. That means you have to divide the work. Who is really hosting? They will give the alert. So, that means the data is in one place, usage in multiple places. In the morning we talked about TCS. TCS is controlling or monitoring the temperature data in many different places in India. Why they are doing? Because smart farming, I think Rishi, what is it? What is the name of the platform? Rishi, Krishi. Do you know what is it? You might be knowing the name. So, check it. They have created one platform where all data from different parts of the country, from different parts of India will come. What is the name? Oh, okay. That, can you say it in mic so others can listen?
I'm not sure about it, ma'am, but I have heard the name Krishi Kosh,
Okay.
where
Krishi
all the
Kosh.
information regarding agriculture is piled up.
Piled up there in the cloud of TC. What is it?
Yeah.
It's actually Krishi DSS.
Krishi TSS. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
It is a decision support system. The Union government on Friday launched a unique digital geo-spatial platform called Krishi Decision Support System.
When was it founded? Long before, 10 years back, right? Okay, you can see that when it was available, made available, that's not important. What is the functionality? The data comes in. If Odisha is going to have some rain today, so you don't need to give water for your plant. That means you are being alerted for it. You may feel that it's a very simple, small information. It's not a small information. It's a very big saving. You don't need to waste your water. Water resource can be kept intact for the future. Similarly, if flood is coming, all your minerals in the fertilizer will be washed away. Don't put your fertilizer before heavy rain or before heavy flooding. So you can protect yourself from the data. So this data, who will be giving the alert based on the allocation of the department? Rain department, they will be talking about water, and chemical department, maybe they know more about the contamination. They can give the alert. So these things are happening for any data analysis and IoT related work. I am talking about food sector. This is same, almost same for other sector, but maybe the sensors are different. And who will do it? How this will be done? That's done by data analysis. This is not manual. Manually, if you are doing, it will take 2 days for one modeling. That means you can't do it manually. You have to write algorithms. Be ready with the algorithms. It's embedded within your cloud, and then all the analysis will be done automatically. That's AI based one. You will get the alert. Yes, there is a problem. It's alerting. Problem is red. Yes, there is a problem, and there is no problem. So if there is a problem, what to do? Who will be doing it? All these things will be decision making beforehand. So team should be working 24/7, but team will not be, same team will not be working 24/7. Okay, this is the end of our the other story. We have done this sensors I told in verbally where the sensors are fixed in MCHOP. Now final slide for this MCHOP is, these are the alerts. I said alert should be going. Yes, there is a problem. This is a problem. So what are the drivers of this problem? What is the problem and how it has been made? What is the reason for it? One simple reason we identified at that time. So what happened? 8 o'clock, somebody opened the fridge. Fridge means not small, it's a very big manufacturer's level fridge. So industrial level fridge, very big one. They opened the door, forgot to close the door. If it's happening by one mistake, whole point of doing it is quality. Quality is reduced. So they cannot use those products. One batch is completely wasted. So if that's only the reason for temperature related issue. There are many issues other than temperature. It's one example. So this is automatically generated. Alert has gone to the company. They are given testimonial. Yes, it happened in our office, and it has happened in our fridge in the railway station. It has happened in the fridge in other areas. So they have accepted it. They have removed those batches. They used it for home purposes or secondary sale purposes. Okay, so this is the way we are working with data. So data is used for decision making. So in the nature of trial was commercial one. You can ask, if it is for commercial, how can we use it for house? You don't need to use it for the day-to-day storing. It's only for the purpose of business. And issues are considered very seriously, and it's a freezer of spoiled stock. Battery level was low. This is another issue. Normally we don't consider battery level. Here very meaningfully they have removed battery when it is not in use. Normally we do not do it, we forget to remove the battery. Temperature measures are given, early warning, this is very important. Why? Because early warning is given, we have to create something. What is it? Early warning is important for what? Mitigation steps. Plan A, we normally say plan A, plan B, plan C, these are all mitigation plans. A, B, C, you will have A, if A does not work then you will go for B, plan B, plan C. So, this is very important for getting the alert. I am not trying the same thing, we have explained it. Now, let me go to the next. This is social impact. We have so far what we have seen is economic impact. Now, we are seeing social impact. How IoT is helping social impact. See, this is about Human Milk Foundation. Again, it is a case study written by me. You can see in my name, it's a sustainability journal. I told 12 papers. I don't know how many of you have seen it. This is one among them. Human Milk Foundation is collecting milk from mother who has lost child, but milk will be there. It's collected. It's a very sensitive topic. Normally we don't talk about it. If a mother is losing the child, milk still it will be secreting. So, they have collected the milk, volunteers, and milk cannot be given to next child immediately. Child will be in hospital, another child, another mother's child, mother will not be in good condition, maybe cancer, they cannot give milk to the child. So, how to do it? Because one does not want to reveal the name, other one is ready to take milk. So, this charity organization, it is a charity, non-profit charity organization, they are collecting milk from hospital, whoever is not having enough, whoever is in a position to give milk, but not having child. So, they are collecting and giving to the other, but in between the supply chain, supplier is one mother and another end user is a baby. Here already this supplier is under stress, they are in very bad shape mentally and physically, and end user is a child, child cannot ask for the milk, and other one who is here, another mother, she cannot take care of the child. It's a situation is supplier and buyer, according to the supply chain, they cannot be connected directly and they do not know what is needed. Normally end user need should be known to the supplier, then only we can send it. But in this case it is a very peculiar supply chain. We also have blood supply chain, we also have human milk supply chain. In both the cases supplier and end user are not connected directly. Now whose job, responsibility is between supply chain members only, everybody is responsible. Supply chain member, whoever is handling the supply chain, they have to be highly responsive, highly responsible. Why? Because when supplier is giving milk, mother will be reluctantly giving milk, she will not be in very good mood, but still she will give the milk. The milk will be going to the warehouse. Again, warehouse is not normal warehouse, the warehouse will be having highly protected environment. There will be some highly qualified safety, food safety authorities. They will be checking the milk, they will be keeping it in a good condition. There is no need for purification, mother's milk is purified milk, but they have to check the quality. Is there any VOC? Is there anything other contamination? Can I pass it on to the next? Okay. Actually, this is in one end of the country, this is in another end, this one. We have to travel it, take to the warehouse, check it. If it's in good condition, put it in the fridge or freezer temperature according to the requirement. Then it is going by two-wheeler, just scooter, bike. They are having a small pack, that pack is temperature control pack. They will put the milk in the temperature control pack, that pack is transported to the mother's place. This mother is a cancer patient, she cannot have it. So that means it has to be delivered to the carer appropriately at that time. They have to say clearly, this is the tag labeling will say you have to use it by this time. You have to keep it in 5 degrees centigrade. who will be looking at all these things? Already they are in very mental tension. So you have to give some labeling, sensor. That label will tell the supplier temperature is not maintained. Immediately they will call the person who is taking care of the child. The carer will be here. He will get the phone call. Don't give that milk. Already its time is up. Don't give it. But if they are giving before time, it's okay. Otherwise, it's again a waste. We cannot avoid the waste. But this is not like your tomato or orange. It is highly valuable. And value is not only money. Value is your emotion. Value is health of the child. So in that case, how can we use IoT? It was not easy initially because it's very sensitive. Our project people, when they contacted mothers, they were not very much ready. But luckily this HMF, Human Milk Foundation company, they said yes, we need it. We want to see how it works. Blood and milk both are the lifeline. They are doing blood donation as well as milk donation. Sorry. So this is the bag.
Made in the same way, formula which is being given in the powdered form to the babies.
Yes, that is secondary, right? If human milk is available, that's primary.
No, is it made from the mother's milk, that formula?
This is real milk, extracting from real mother, not formula milk. Formula milk, anybody can do it. Why should I need something very special? It's extracted from the mother who lost the babies. Okay, this is the bag, Human Milk Foundation bag. It's a case study, and one of the author is the owner of that HMF. She has created, and she is a trained doctor, physician. So she wanted to create something for small babies, and it's a very interesting story about how milk is transported, human milk. In India, we have so many blood donations. Everything is there, but can we use IoT to maintain the temperature? We can use, but somebody should take the initiative. Whether they are using or not, I am not sure. Is anybody using for blood? Something like they are using the bag. I have seen it put in the bag, but whether they are using IoT, it's not clear to me. So if you are in a position to advise someone, you can give the advice. Give this mic to him.
Blood is available in the normally in the hospital itself.
Hospital itself, yeah.
So
Is
they
it
just
voluntary job?
About the blood group and collect it, and they have to pay the money for it also. So that is the reason.
So this is a
IoT sensor installation is not penetrated to private organization or reputed organization still yet. So in government organization or blood banks, I don't think there must be so much awareness.
So that means we can, and this is a bag for particular one. They are buying it. It's not sold separately. The company HMF is buying. If you are saying it's a government one, we cannot influence them. But once they know the positive side of using IoT, everybody can adapt positive adoption of IoT in bags. And this is really, it was closer to my heart when I have done this project. I felt like, yes, so many kids will be saved. If you are giving contaminated milk, that already the sickened baby will not be improving the health. So this is a very good way of using IoT. This is another simple way, no IoT, and I am not using anything more than one sensor. Yeah.
I just checked it. Bagmo is a company Cochin based startup. They are actually doing this thing. They are trying to take it all over the nation and
all over the nation. Wow, okay.
For this blood thing, IoT using, they have used it somewhere.
Okay,
they have started this initiative. It's a startup.
It's a startup. So it's starting. I'm not saying nothing is nothing is available here. It is possible. However, you have to take it to the bigger, wider population. You have to spread the word. There is a possibility of maintaining quality in every sector using IoT. This is another example. We will be not using many sensors, few sensors, and this company is actually we have used only the diagram. The company has not given us any permission to use the name. So I removed the name. This is from Netherlands, and they have used ice packs. So if you are sending eggs and if you are sending some frozen, if you don't have the temperature control van, if you look at the van, there is no temperature control van. On top temperature control mean you will have the AC on top of the van. So normally it will be something here for temperature control, but nothing is there. That means it's not temperature control van, but they are sending some cool item. So this is yesterday I asked the question, if you don't have the temperature control, if you want to keep the fresh vegetables, how will you keep it? In the case study, if you remember, and most of you said AC centralized warehouse for the temperature control vegetables and fruits, but this is another option. For a few hours it can be, you can have a thick ice bags. Ice bags can be put in one of the baskets. So all these cartons are having some small quantity, all carton can be put with some ice bag. Ice bag until it's being melt completely, the whole pack will be cool. But how many ice cubes can you have? In this country, because we are not having temperature like -10, it's not possible in this country. But certain countries which are having low temperature, they can have this option without using any electricity, ice packs.
Ma'am, the silicone liquid or the gel like silicone which is used for medicines,
Yes, yeah.
if we can use that.
That is very costly, right? Costlier than ice. So we can think of other option. Do you have any other option? So personalized cooling profile per cooling box. Every box will have number of ice packs. Yes, I'll come to you. Ice packs according to the fruit and vegetable. If it is a soft fruit, if it is egg, they will put more ice packs. If it is slightly harder one, they will not put more ice packs. Now give it to her.
Ma'am, in case of fruit like apple, its shelf life is generally 3 to 4 months. We can store it. But if we are doing waxing over it, edible wax, thin film of that, it will be the shelf life can be increased up to 4-5 months extra.
4-5 months.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
So we can sell in odd time also to get profit, and this waxing can be done in vegetable and fruits.
This wax, the spelling, is it correct? Is it a wax?
Yes.
This wax, it's not edible. Is edible, but
yes, ma'am. But there is permissible limit of FSSI, Food Safety Standard Authority of India. It has its specification that up to certain limit we can use that edible wax.
Okay.
Ma'am, it's WAX.
W?
Wax.
A normal wax.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So they will be making it shiny. Is it the reason it's becoming shiny? Oh.
Yes, ma'am. It is already in market. The waxed apples are already available in market, and it has also some constraints, health constraints also, but it can be considered if we are thinking about
threshold is not to be exceeded. Right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Analysis of thank you. So what she said is about apple. So if we are considering each and every vegetable, there is different method. But supply chain as a whole, when you consider, the rule of thumb is you have to consider the supply chain, accordingly you have to act. If you are having generalistic solution for every supply chain, it's not possible. So you have to customize the supply chain. Here they are talking about weather condition. Now I am coming to the point that gentleman asked me, customer satisfaction, compliance. If you are considering this, how can you make the supply chain with the IoT? If I said I will be doing it tomorrow, we can consider a little bit. Can you repeat your question?
Morning question that.
Yeah.
Suppose your feedback is on the based of perception rather than a particular data-based or actual database. It is a factual, not a actual. And how IoT sensor can be useful.
Yes.
Like in the morning, I was given example while going to a restaurant. They are asking feedback whether the food was good or not. We just simply let yes, it is good. But internally, we did not expect what are the real our feedback. We don't never give.
Yes.
So that becomes a fake feedback. In similar situation, earlier I was also given an example, historical data. Based on historical data, if you are going, but the current scenario might be changed due to the motive of peoples or the current demand of the people. In this case, both historical data and current data, they do not reflect the real requirement. So in this case, how IoT sensor can be useful?
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, he has asked the question. I hope you all understand. Customers are changing the, yes.
Devices and this Internet of Things devices, this entire thing, I mean, it all runs on the concept of GIGO. If we were putting garbage, then garbage will come out. Garbage in and garbage out concept. If the feedback is not proper, then IoT devices are not going to function that properly. So that is one perspective in that.
Actually, we also asked about this. IoT device is not based on the consumer feedback. IoT device is based on the real-time data, what is happening. So you are not interacting with a manual interpretation of feedback to IoT. But at times, if they are unhappy due to actual complaint, that data will go to IoT. So what you are saying is marketing. If people are not happy, how the data will be communicated to IoT. Actually, there are two different ways of collecting data. IoT data is normally communicated because machine to machine. That's not a problem. When there is only one intervention point, when the driver or some delivery is not happening on time, that time they will give the feedback according to the diagram what I have given. Feedback is only given only at that time, only emoji. It is emoticon. They are doing it because of the complaint. They cannot give the complaint through the mobile phone, so they are giving the feedback like up and down thumb. That time it is positive and it is not giving any negative implication. When you are talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 scale, see normally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scale, this is for consumers. Consumer feedback, if he is saying 3, it is neutral, 4 and 5 positive, 1 and 2 negative. That time we have to consider seriously if repeatedly he is saying 3 or 4, that is not correct. We have different system for that. Now when we are considering the IoT, complaints are, in this case, complaints are made. If complaints are made, that means really the service was not good. Nobody will go and complain to the level of complaint if there is only small problem. They will go to complain only if the problem is very big. So we can consider it as a true reflection of the opinion of the service. Okay. This one is different matter. We are not considering now, we will do the thing for tomorrow for marketing. But this is the one, are you agreeing with that? So, IoT
feedback,
is,
ma'am, can be collected post also. Suppose in case of Ola and Uber, post the completion of the trip, we give the feedback. The person, we are dissatisfied with the rider, we give the review also that his driving is harsh or anything. So when we give a feedback at the back, we write the true things.
That is how it is affecting, feedback is affecting the future operations. Yes. That is a different story, that is what I am talking tomorrow. Okay. It is very interesting, and outside this class we can talk about that as well. But here feedback is for IoT, it is not for the manual feedback.
Ma'am,
yeah.
There is one startup in NIT itself. They are just invented a normal one platform is there. There is a one app for this error, like many consumer are giving a wrong feedback, just ticking 1, 2, 3 and giving the scaling, and they has just introduced new technique, or they are just giving a one random question. In the question there, there is a one yellow color in the option. the feedback.
Actually, it's called negative question. We have to
Yeah.
ask some negative question in the questionnaire to check whether person is really doing or just ticking. That is a different. That's what I am saying. I will do it as a separate class, not now. So let's come to this point. I agree with you. All these are happening in the supply chain and marketing. We are just put the tick mark. Even I do it because I am bored. I will do it. All human brain will not work at the same time in the same way. We will be doing something which is not appropriate. So, how to deal with those things? We will do it separately. Now, it is related to the technology. Now, if I say it is not technology, I am talking about ice pack. Ice pack, if it is melted completely, when you are getting to the destination, there is no ice pack. All fruits and other things are not fresh. Ice pack is there, but melted within the bag, and your quality is not as you expected. Then the customer will give the complaint. That complaint is not technology complaint really to the other side of it, other side of the spectrum, quality of the product, quality of the service. In that case, we are not talking about technology, we are talking about small simple ice pack and then customer satisfaction. This is also possible. So, every time we do not need to look for bigger sensor data, we can also go with simple solutions. Let me go with I have explained it, it is given in the diagram. Ice packs are put in the middle of it. Sometimes ice packs will be, where is it in the next? Yeah, this one I have shown. This is ice pack. Yeah, somewhere in the middle they have put ice packs, small ice packs. And even the ice pack, I said it is manual. If you are trying the next level, you are using sensors. How many sensors normally we put? For every box we will put one sensor. If I am having the ice pack, I can have just one sensor for one compartment. The temperature is changed, then the sensor will be giving some signal. That is also possible. Not for every pack, we can put only one sensor for full carton. You can do that, or one full compartment. Actually, I was talking during the lunch time. Multi-compartmental vans are available. If you look at this diagram, here whole side is open, other side it is different product. In some of the trucks we have even shutter here, all are shutters. If you notice, no door is opening sidewise, it is shutter. We have 4 shutters if it is a big truck. That means we can have 4 different sensors. That means 4 different quality control for different products. We can have all these things. I don't want to spend more time in sensors. It's done. Let's go for the final of quality control through sensors or technology, whatever you are following. This is infographic mainly produced in Nottingham Trent University under my supervision. This is the main comprehensive benefits of using the technology in agri sector. So, we have the fingerprint. Fingerprint meaning is we are having special quality service for one particular company. We are putting our stamp in it, that is the meaning. So, our service is creating some quality assurance. So, establishing food fingerprint, it is not green fingerprint, food fingerprint in the sense that quality, and we are establishing some quality standard for the whole sector. Monitoring is done by the IoT, connection is done by the app and cloud computing, money saving is assured. Every company will be happy in the supply chain only when they are getting some extra money. If I am using IoT, what is the point? I should finally get, at the end of the day, I have to get some extra benefit, extra money. I will be reducing the logistical cost, I will be reducing the labor. Instead of appointing 2 computer analysts, I will be having only 1 analyst, other one will be automated. So, I will be saving 1 full salary of other person, and improving revenue. Obviously, it has to be established. If a company is not showing improvement in the revenue in 6 months time, you cannot use the technology, you have to change the technology. And then carbon footprint, it is compulsory for any company. It is compulsory. If you are using IoT or any other data, BDA cloud computing, you have to prove you are using carbon footprint, compulsory CO2 reduction. This is a norm for the country where I worked. And then the second thing, continuation, network and collaboration should be there. If you are saying that I am having everything, I am owning the cloud, I am owning the IoT, if you say everything I, you will not get any subsidy, because supply chain is not in silo. Everyone should be working collaboratively with the other partner. So, network and collaboration are important elements for having the successful application of IoT as well as getting some benefit. Quality assurance, it is another point, like we are having ISO quality. Similarly, they are going to have new quality assurance for IoT. Do you have anything here in India? Quality assurance for using IoT. Can you claim I am using IoT, so my company is not having any quality problem? All my products are of control quality. Can you say that? And I think food safety, do you have anything? FCI? Do you have relating any related regulation? So, are they using IoT standard as well? So, probably in the near future we will have this quality assurance through IoT use. If you are using IoT, if no fluctuations happen continuously for 1 year, probably you will be given another quality assurance. What is the advantage? If your company has got some quality assurance, quality certification, you can increase the price, obviously. So, you can do that. So, this is happening, this is not happened yet, but it may happen in the near future. And decision support, definitely companies in the 2025, 2030, you will be having big data analytics in every company. It will be part of the company supply chain activity, and it is tailored for the company. No one company will have the same like other company. It is tailored and it is customized for the supply chain. So, it is going to be tailored in the future, and that future is not far away from us. We can do it quickly. And sensor technology, we cannot avoid it. Now, I feel all of us are having sensors in one way or the other. You can locate your mobile phone, and there are many other sensors in your house. You might be having motion sensor, camera, and there are many sensors available. You are going to have it. Data driven decision making. All our PhD students in my place, they are doing data driven decision making. If you are making the model is from the data. If you are a PhD student or MBA student or even undergraduate student, your professor will be asking you to collect data, survey data. Survey data is not directly feeding into the data analysis, but you will be analyzing the data through different methods, and then your decision is based on the data. Data can be any kind of data. So, this is the way we are working, and not having this framework. You can go through again the numbers. If you remember, I said it is a list taken from websites. Okay, let me come to almost the final one. So, these are the rough estimates. When you are estimating how each technology is helping, some technology will be helping in a higher way, some technology will be saving lesser amount. So, we estimate that each technology we use for the remit purposes, remit project, it saved up to 100,000 pounds, multiplied by 100 is rupees, 1 pound is 100 rupees. For the company, they agreed it. So, these are all testimony was given, so we can confidently say. So, online supermarket, which I have shown, the name is not mentioned, they have not allowed us. They have used it and they obtained some medium level of benefit. Fresh food company, they have used it, they got highest level of benefit, fresh fruit and vegetable. A beef producer, we have got a beef was also highly benefited. That means the fresh fruit and beef both are very difficult to sell if time is passed. So, the perishability is very, very questionable if you are not having the sensors. The quality is maintained, so high level of benefit uptime. There was another online food distributor company, they are from Germany. If I have not mentioned the name, that means they have not allowed us to use the mention. So, but we have used it for the case studies. Online food distributor company, they have got medium. Another one, fresh vegetable, they have got only low level of benefit. If you look at the first one, second one, they have got high level of benefit, equivalent to say 100,000 pounds. But fresh vegetable producer company, they have got only low level of benefit, because they have not used all the sensors. They wanted only temperature sensor. Temperature is not the only sensor helping everyone. Even the fluctuation sensor, I said it's, if your truck is jerking too much, your egg will be broken, all your supply chain will be waste. So, more companies are expected to join. Now it's becoming as a business. Now project is completed. So contributions are given here. This is already discussed. Contributions are huge. Not only reduction in CO2, we have got so much of a positive profit as well. Oh, sorry, let me stop here. Okay, before we go for the next from Professor MPS, we will be going something differently. For argument's sake, let me consider the interesting point what our fellow said. What happens to the consumer's feedback? What happens to the supply chain when your consumer feedback is not reliable? Just for 5 minutes, okay? As a marketing marketing tutor, I will be arguing, if the feedback is not correct, your operation will be not aligned with the expectation. Demand and supply will not meet. Now let me open the floor for the discussion. My contention from the argument, if feedback of the customer is not very unbiased, not unbiased means it's biased, your production and delivery will not be appropriate to meet the demand. How many of you agree this? Okay, question is not clear to you. If feedback is biased, feedback from the customer is biased, production and delivery will not be meeting as expected. Supply and demand will not be matching if feedback is wrong or feedback is biased. How many of you agree? All of you, almost all of you agree. Whoever is not agreeing, they don't understand me, I guess. Okay. Thank you. At the same time, why do we say it's biased? How do I know it's biased? My question itself is wrong. I am contradicting myself. I am biased. How can I say it's biased? One answer was given, right? We have to give one negative question in the survey. If you are giving one negative question, meaning is it's not meaningful at all. Purposely I am changing something. If it is not unbiased, if I say it's not a proper sentence, I can say straight away it's biased. If you give something tweaky or some mixed one, still if you are using same, if you are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if a person is highly unreliable, he will be choosing 3, 3, 3. Even for that question, negative question. You want to say something, you raised your hand, right?
If we have repetitive questions in different forms, this can also trick
repetitive.
them.
Say it as an example.
For suppose I asked, did you like the food? This is one question. And how was the food?
Did you like the food means yes or no question, dichotomous question.
Rate the food. Rate the food. Then the quality of the food, the taste of the food, means it very closely related and similar kind of questions. So if they answer one for okay very good, and in one they are answering not good at all,
it may be that you are having convergent and divergent validity failing, right? Your question, that's not the way to ask. You should not confuse. You cannot ask repeated question for the same construct. Yeah, that's a different concept, structural equation modeling. I am not going deeper into the modeling, but when you are asking question, you cannot ask too many questions for the same concept. All concepts should be differentiating each other. Yeah.
In Indian context, if you take care it, basically this is a cultural heritage of our Indian people that they will not give you the negative feedback in front of any person.
So anonymize it. You don't need to ask for the response immediately, send it by email.
Still if you can consider in case of any training program or any workshop, even if you give the feedback, even if the name is mentioned, nobody tries to give any negative feedback, because that is a cultural,
even with anonymity.
Yes, because that is a cultural thing in Indian society. They don't give any negative feedback. Like Western countries, they give the exact feedback. In Indian context of view, nobody gives the negative feedback. So sometimes that's point of view, the total market survey or market analysis gives the wrong statement.
But if you do not know who is responding, and if they do not know who is asking, they can give the real opinion, true opinion, right?
Generally in Indian it doesn't succeed.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, very interesting classes, though I am attending in parts. I have 3 points here. One, what that lady meant, probably what I understand is, she is telling, if we ask the same question maybe in different forms, then we can probably find out if someone is bluffing. Now, supposing, say, if the food is tasty, I say, yes, very tasty. Now, somewhere, was the food fresh enough? I will say, fairly okay, it's okay. But if I say, not at all, then probably it appears I am bluffing. Probably that is what she meant, number one. Number two, I have been listening to all the interactions, very interactive session very closely. Before this gentleman told, in fact, in the morning session, we talked of this survey part also. Traditionally, we don't write anything negative. Even if I have a very, very bad experience with the Ola driver, until and unless I miss my train or flight, then only I will react.
The complaint will be escalated when
otherwise, I will say very, very bad. Then I am concerned कि भाई उसको निकाल देगा क्या, उसको 2-3 दिन के लिए बिठा देगा क्या. It is our traditional Indian mindset which you have grown. I don't know about the youngsters, they may be more open. So, ठीक है, I will just give a fairly okay. Even in training programs, I am from SAIL, we conduct many training programs. There they mention, need not mention your name, this, that. Still you think, अरे पता नहीं handwriting पता चलेगा, पता नहीं ये. Why to give? Let them be happy. So this is what the second point is. Third, what when you were asking, how to now, if we are so dependent on the customer's feedback, that my manufacturing process is based on it, yeah, accepted. But then, I do not know. I am putting the question to you and to the house also. Don't I have some feedback system where I am confident of my own quality? That is number one we should have. Presuming that the populace, maybe 60% or 70% of the populace won't give really correct answers. Based on this assumption, can I not have a inbuilt quality control system where I am very confident of my own production? Number one. Number two, again, do we have any such data or any such study has been taken anywhere in the world or in the Indian context where we know if we take a data set from 1,000 people, what percentage would be pakka true, what must be fairly okay, what must be fake? If there is any such study or any such data, I do not know. So if there is a study, now I can know that I have got the feedback from 1,000 people. So maybe this percentage is okay. So based on this percentage, I will modify my production and all. These are my views, madam. Thank you.
Can I answer before you move on to the next one? The quality of product can be easily identified through Six Sigma or any quality control program. Even if you don't use Six Sigma, you can say out of 100 products, I can identify 5 products as not meeting the standard, then I can say my company is not good. So I can classify my own standard in a different way. But when you are considering quality of service, service is normally taken in a different way. Service is considered as poor when you are raising your bar to the level of giving some complaint. So, you have the tolerance level for a certain period, but after some time your service is utterly not meeting my expectation, then I will be complaining. So, complaining is one number of complaints or one representation of poor quality of service. That is one. Normally in sector like service sector, for example, car servicing, we use number of complaints as the expression of unhappiness. That is one way. And what you are saying is correct. If you are relying on customer feedback and instead of 3 and 5, if it is related 3 and 5 according to the respondent, that is your point. According to the respondent, both are not too different. Taste is good, but is it fresh? It is a different question. I do not consider both of them as the same, so I give 5. Taste is not good, but the quality freshness is good. That means two different meanings. How do I consider in that case? So, if you are having different questions in exactly not mixing up with each other, probably it can get you good idea. However, we have to admit all surveys are biased. Most of the surveys, not all surveys, majority of the surveys are biased, subjective, but no production manager will be relying only on the survey. So, he has to give some extra money to get the survey. That 5 pounds, you might be knowing, now we are having private survey companies, we have to give $5, I am giving from my project $5 for the true opinion. It will take time, but they will not be making any mistake. Any time if you want the respondent to come back and answer why you are given this scale, they will say. So, that kind of business is available now, however, it is very, very expensive. If you want true opinion, you have to give money. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Ma'am, recently in all across the PSUs, and not only in the PSUs, in the private sectors also, we have seen that certain companies are coming which are certifying the workplaces as great place to work. And almost all the companies have become great place to work. they are taking surveys, and almost all the Maharatna companies are great place to work. Almost all the manufacturing units are great place to work. So
have you seen this Glassdoor?
Yeah, Glassdoor. Yeah.
Glassdoor, no, it is not. You can see many negative feedback as well, because Glassdoor is collecting the feedback only after you leave the company. So, when you are leaving, you do not mind giving negative feedback. So, that could be the true opinion. Right? So, you have to ask at the time when they, not at the time when they leave, you have to ask after a week or 2. Okay.
Ma'am, this Glassdoor or exit interview policy, that is also not transparent. Because in that exit interview policy also, there is a remark whether you want to return back to the company or yes or not. If you write yes, that means you need to have a negative review. So, nothing review process is transparent or clarity.
It is not completely transparent, I admit that. But at the same time, we have certain ways of overcoming these shortcomings. How quality of the product, we have standard for the quality control, and quality of service, you should not ask directly after you give the service, wait for some time. We are having the method called SerQual. Some of the professors might have used this. Service quality SerQual is a method which will be asking 2 different surveys before you get the service, after you obtain the service. So, what is the gap between the perceived and then achieved? You are finding the difference, that is a gap analysis. There are many more different methods. I use this SerQual, it is a really good way of doing it. This gentleman, probably that can be one option, but we have to again pay a huge amount of money. We have to put some labor, time, effort, analysis, everything should be done. Okay, and yeah, let's. This is slightly away from our topic. However, these are all helping how to design your supply chain strategies. If you remember, strategies are not only lean, agile, and other things. You have to be strategically positioning your supply chain to make the customers happy. So, this is a capsule kind of 3-day session. We are finished with the supply chain sustainability aspect of it. Something overlapping in tomorrow's one. We are having marketing operation interface, but certain things we cannot avoid. Some are connected together. Okay, we will do it tomorrow. Thank you very much. If you don't have any question, I will finish this session. Shall we finish?
Good evening, everyone. Once again, in our day 3 session 4, we will be talking about the supply chain and ESG. This particular topic is slightly different from core from the supply chain, but it is something which is actually important when we are talking about usually when we go to the hospital and coming out. We used to have a certificate that all the things have been good, and then only the doctors used to release us. It is something which is also similar to that of ESG is also similar to that of that particular thing, where a company need to publish its own report and stating that the things are in line with the guidance, guidelines, regulations and every possible thing. It includes every bit and byte which we have discussed from the beginning. It talks about the resilience, the topic which we have, and the economic dimension and various other perspectives. And if you go by the Paulman's statement, where he categorically mentioned that we cannot choose between the economic growth and sustainability, means we have to go along with both the perspective. The thing is that economic growth in isolation can't work out in the present context when we are talking about, and we have various statistics that also validate that if we are only focusing on the economic growth, we do have a lot more challenges. So it is important, being a company, that we have to take care of. The reason is very simple, because we being a business, we are a part of the society. When we are taking out something from the society, it is our responsibility that we have to give it back to the society. In by any mean. Maybe if you have to, if you buy as a CSR, the term which you must have heard of, corporate social responsibility. If we have done something, we are taking out something, then we have to give it back to the society so that the people who are in the community should be benefited out of our efforts which we are doing for our business. If you see the various vulnerabilities of supply chain, we discussed yesterday also that climate disruptions. COVID-19 is one of the examples we discussed yesterday also. Scrutiny from the non-traditional supply chain stakeholders. Now at this point of time, it is not only the companies who are actually evaluating. Everybody, every possible stakeholder is actually evaluating us. So we are being a customer, community, and every person whosoever is there in that particular supply chain will have to hold a responsibility that they will evaluate us. So now if you talk about the tension or the sense of responsibility has been increased to the companies. Changing the customers' demands. You must have heard of the Zepto, which is within 10 minutes they used to deliver every possible thing. Initially, when this concept has been evolved, it was a very categorical statement that this will not have a huge success. But if you see in India, it is, especially I'm talking about the tier 1 cities, it is a significant success is there, particularly if you talk about the Zepto. And positive side is good that yes, we are getting everything within 10 minutes of duration. And the reason, if you see, yesterday we discussed that convenience. Every customer is looking for the convenience part. So obviously the disruptions used to happen in the supply chain, and the example is Zepto. At the same time, if you look at the pitfall or downside of this Zepto is, usually if you go by the articles in the various newspapers and researchers have published, it is actually adversely affecting. Do the main companies, e-commerce companies or retailers are getting affected, or somebody else is getting affected out of Zepto's introduction? Quick commerce, because of the quick commerce, who are mainly getting affected?
Retail sector.
Retail sector. Retail sector in the sense?
Kirana store.
Initially, when the Zepto has been launched, it has been categorically mentioned that they are going to help Kirana stores. But actually, it is happening reverse. Kirana store are getting actually affected with the introduction of Zepto. So it is with the change in the customer's demand over the period of time, you'll find out that the things which are evolving will have to be well taken care of. Then we have the changing regulations. As and when the regulations over the period of time, if you see in from 2000 onward, when the corporate governance has been introduced, and we have a very simple logic. If you are trusting someone, then all things are okay. But in business, trust is something which is very subjective, because explanation of trust depends upon various other factors. So the thing is that if the trust is declining among the different stakeholders within the business, if you talk about all the members who are there, who are the part of this particular business, if the trust deficit is there, what is the best possible solution to the trust deficit we have? What best we can do to reduce down the trust deficit? How we can address the trust deficit in business? Because in families it is okay. Parents have strict regulations up to 16, not beyond that. Even we had a discussion yesterday also. Up to a certain age, parents have a restriction, but beyond that, they do not have. But company, being you are a responsible business owner, you are a responsible company, so you have to be, you are supposed to be in line with the vision and mission and everything. But if there is a trust deficit, what is the solution? A possible solution. Nothing is permanent.
Sir, first of all, to do away with the trust deficit, first of all, sir, the company has to accept that there has been something wrong in that, because of the we
Usually not happen. Why should I accept that I am wrong?
Sir, actually the same happened with Nestle when that Maggie thing came out in the market, and they took away all the Maggie products from the shelves of all the stores across India. So first of all, they accepted that there has been some mistake, and second, sir, improving upon the quality. That can be a thing, because Tatas have also in the past, whenever there has been something wrong from their end, first thing they have done is to accept the thing that something has been wrong.
Coca-Cola is one of the best example in India. In somewhere in 1980s, in Kerala, they have been banned in India and have legal complication have gone for some around 10-15 years. But the company has not accepted that they did anything wrong. Similarly, if you consider Apple, a market leader, and they have the case with the Foxconn, and we usually discuss in corporate governance about Foxconn case, Coca-Cola case, that we used to do when the something is going wrong. And most importantly, if you talk about the Foxconn case, it is a supply chain partner who used to make manufacture for the Apple iPhones, and this company was there in China. This company was going through too many turbulences with respect to the human rights and others. So still, I will not accept that I am wrong, first of all. If I am accepting, then there is a huge significance will be there in the investor's mind. They are my primary source. So for that, the solution is compliances. We have to come up with the compliances, and among them, one is the ESG. In due course of time, we'll see that still it is voluntary in nature, but from 2023 onward, the top 1,000 companies have been made it mandatory. And the next big thing which is coming up in India is the carbon trading. Most of the polluting industries, they are very much into huge discussion is going on, and they are in the process of applying this. So carbon trading is another thing where initially the government was trusting the companies that they will mitigate the environmental impacts, but it has not been done. So they are supposed to come up with another possible solutions where they have come up with more compliances. And now you are supposed to abide the compliances. And then we have a rising social and environmental awareness, where we discussed in our yesterday's class also that Bonvita and Cerelac case, the content of sugar which has been keep on increasing. So and the reason is, one of the reasons, those social media have an adverse impact, positive and negative both. If you see for the youngsters basically, social media, Australia has banned the social media for kids up to 16 years of age. But this is the social media which has created an awareness with respect to if you talk about the Bonvita or Cerelac. Even if you remember that Fair and Lovely, one of the most traditional cult brand of India, that has also changed its name, mainly because of the compliance. When the customer become more powerful, they were supposed to change their name. Otherwise, previously they were keep on going and propagating the same set of advertisements. So with the increasing social and environmental awareness, the things are also changing. And most important part is the business that effectively manage the complexities. If the businesses who are more resilient in the nature, they are actually going to sustain for a very long period of time. If we are not able to adapt the changes, then the chances of the survival is lower. Example is Nokia. With the change in the technology, with the change in the customer preferences, if we are not able to adapt, then the problem will occur. If you talk about Nokia, then we have, if you remember that one Indian brand in the mobile phone, Micromax, and at that point of time it has gone a huge momentum. But the important part is, being a customer, I should be satisfied. Then only I will go behind the particular brand. So these things that is important that we have to adapt all and each and everything. In addition to that, if you see the vulnerability, if you look at the statistics, which the report has been published in 2021, and if you look at the different states, these are the states which are highly vulnerable in the nature. At any point of time, if you talk about the seismic zones, where there is a possibility of what you can say, earthquake and etc. are there, and if you talk about the northern part of the country, we are in a seismic zone 4. So it is, and there the word resilient actually come into the picture, how adaptable you are to the upcoming challenges. Odisha is one of the very best example when we are talking about the vulnerability, especially in case of any disaster. The ODRF, Odisha Disaster Relief Federation or something. Sorry? Action Force. This is one of the best in India. Because if you remember in 1999, after the super cyclone, this particular division has done tremendously good and they have been well prepared beforehand. So it is important that how you are assessing the upcoming challenges. Business, we cannot avoid the business. We are the upcoming manufacturing hub. We have various slogans if you talk about Make in India, etc. And at the same time, we need to address all the possible challenges, not only with respect to the environment, because when we are talking about the sustainability, environment is not the only one. So if you look at the vulnerability, it includes the various aspects, and mainly if you talk about exposure, then we have disasters, we have and the best part is, as and when we are moving further, development, economic development. With the development, the things are going positive. For example, if you see, I can quote from my area because actually I am from Lucknow, so there in that, the concrete jungles are evolving. If you are spending 5 days here, the things, the temperature comparatively in the campus is slightly lesser than the outside. At the same time, if you go to the big metros, you will find out the difference in the temperature, mainly because of the various reasons. If you go to Delhi, which is struggling from a very long period of time with that pollution part, smog and other things. So, as and when we are keep on evolving, we are keep on developing, the vulnerability is keep on increasing. And when we are talking about this climate change, these are the various different facets that are actually going to impact. When we are evaluating this vulnerability, it is having a very simple definition which talks about exposure into sensitivity, how you are sensible, how you can actually address, and then what are the adaptive capabilities you have. And based on that, this particular index have been calculated. And if you see how much you are exposed, as and when you are having a high vulnerability, means you are not going on track. There is something wrong and you have to modify yourself. So it is important that we have to have a good adaptive capability, otherwise the things will not go well. Denominator is supposed to be stronger, otherwise the scenario will be different. If you have heard of that the capital of Indonesia, Jakarta, maybe if you go by the estimates and the reports, maybe in another 50 years that particular city will not be there. And they have been started developing their new capital because of the increase in water level. Even if you go by, there are reports which are published, any of these cities in India which are coastal cities, they are into the problem. Mumbai, if you talk about, Visakhapatnam, if you talk about, even if you go in detail and discuss, explore about the status of Puri, there have been some of the villages which have been submerged. So at one point of the time, we have been doing very good. Economic development is there, and it is important. We can't deny that, because by end of the day, if you talk about the Indian perspective, we need a jobs, and if economic perspective, economic prosperity will not be there, that is going to be a big chaos. So economic development is important, but at the same time, we have to address that where we are standing with respect to the adaptability when we are talking about, with respect to the resilience when we are talking about. Apart from these things, if you see decent jobs, again I'm talking about the formal sector. Informal sector, we used to have lot many challenges. If you go by Narayan Murthy sir's statement, work-life balance is nothing. It is something which is very subjective. Sorry to say from HR perspective, because from HR this is something which is very much important. But unfortunately, if you see the people who have been working in the corporates, they must be knowing that work-life balance is something which is like wish to achieve but won't be able to achieve. Sorry? It's a myth. So, but that work-life, apart from the work-life balance, if we go Herzberg's two-factor theory, there are various other facets where the basic minimum requirement which are supposed to be required by an employee, that is to be provided. So, in addition to that, if we are talking about the salary structures and other things, that is economic concern. Taxation, if you talk about GST, we have 4 to 5 different slabs are there, and people have an argument on a regular basis that in one particular dimension the GST is higher. For example, if you see in some of the areas which are actually necessary, but the GST is around 18%. That is subjective, which may be change over the period of time, because the GST Council used to have regular meetings. Then we have, it is important, another important facet is like building a long-term shareholder and stakeholders value. And the very best example is Li Feng's case. This is the company which is a supply chain company. Initially, if you look back and check out the history of this company, it was a trading company which has been operating from Hong Kong, and have a multi-location manufacturing units were there. Simple job was to procuring the products from different locations, have been sending it back to the European countries, to the US, Western countries. Over the period of time, the only important part was they have a very strong, significant thing, that was a trust among the traders. Because this is one particular thing, if you have developed that, because there are numerous traders are there in the same line, but the trust is something which actually built over the period of time, and this company has done that. Even if you see from 2005 onward, when this IT has been introduced, they were compelled to switch toward the IT, and again they have done tremendously good. So at any point of time when you get an opportunity, must read the case study of Li Feng. The 2 different perspectives are there, where how this company has been managing the complete supply chain, and in the given period of time, all the things which we have discussed, that has been well maintained by the company. Then if you talk about the price paid to the developing country producers, example is Foxconn. Again, it's one of the case study which is available, where how the Foxconn have been treating its employees to gain the mileage in terms of the profit, and it has been, and though it is a supplier, but Apple was responsible, because Foxconn was not known by the Apple customers. And if you see that if anything is happening wrong with the Foxconn, Apple supposed to be responsible, held responsible. But actually, Apple has taken action against the Foxconn, and this is what the supplier relationship, what we are talking about. Everybody in the supply chain should be held responsible. If something is happening wrong in the complete supply chain, everybody will be held responsible. So Foxconn have been penalized, and mainly because the Apple customers were not very satisfied. mainly because of some of the death had actually happened in the Foxconn unit, mainly because of the long working hours were there, and as probably we had one of the discussion in where like China is a one where the factories are so big where everything will be there within the premises itself, and if you see that working hours were so elongated that they were not able to use any of these facilities. If we talk about employees were working so hard and resulted into some of the deaths and other casualties. Then we have human rights and labor right issues. Again, if you see the case of there is another case of Walmart, where the women employees have actually lodged the case in the court about the disparity in the income. That women employees were getting less salary in comparison to the male employees, whereas even that case has gone too long, but finally they won the case. So if you talk about the social issues, they are quite common. The marketplace and the consumer concern, and somewhere in 2000 the concept of Millennium Development Goals have actually come into the picture, but again will not get deeper into that. But if you see that they have been developed mainly for the developing nations. We are the one who are actually creating every possible thing. Rest developed nations are very good, and that's the reason why in 2015 SDG came into the picture, which includes not only the developing nations, everyone, because what we are doing today have been done by others long back. Even with respect to the carbon trading also, the same phenomena. So, Millennium Development Goals is another aspect. Then unfair business practices and everything what we are talking about, it is all the things are happening. Even if you, the resource depletion, energy and forest, minerals and metal resources, there is a report on this Brazilian rainforest. In Brazilian rainforest, if you go through the report, you'll be shocked. In Brazilian rainforest, the local community, they were cutting down the trees and everything. Though we used to say like we have to plant more set of trees, but they were cutting down the trees. Any guesses like why it has been done? And if you go through the report, you'll find out a very like the burned babies, monkey babies and others in that particular report. It has been there. Any idea why?
Sir, due to the forest fire, sir. Forest fire.
People were doing. Local community was cutting down the forest. Not because of the fire. Fire maybe because of some external reasons, increase in temperature, etc. Dried forest or other thing.
Excess CO2 emission.
Excess CO2 emissions, no. Excess rain. What is the fundamental? What is the basic thing a family needed?
Sir, to acquire land for the increasing in population of that tribe.
Livelihood. They have been struggling for the livelihood, and what they have started doing is they have been started making the grazing lands, increasing the number of the cows, and from the cows they have been exporting. These cows have been exported to European Union, US, China. Now they are happy. So the bottom line is, for survival, we need, for our livelihood, we need money, and that is the one reason where they have done such a big thing. If you go through the report, it is really like last maybe hardly 3 to 4 months back this report has been published. And it's, if you look at the pictures, it's not so good. So here the most important part is, one side we have been talking about the resource depletion, and that is good. But when we are talking about the environmental issues, and even when we are talking about the economics or environment or social, the bottom line is that we should have a livelihood. If we will not be able to sustain ourselves as a human, then rest of the things, why we should bother about any other thing? And for this Brazilian rainforest is one of the very simple example which explains every possible thing. Then another environmental impacts, as ma'am has already discussed in our sessions about the greenhouse gas emissions and ozone depletion, etc. Even if you see this ecotoxicity, this is something like we used to in our farmlands and others, we used to have more pesticides. And if you usually we prefer green, red, and the picture which ma'am shows, that carrot and brinjal and all these things. If they are good in color, then only we used to purchase. But if you see, usually we find out that in most of the cases, people used to prefer the vegetables, those who have some sort of insects or these what you can say, insects are there in the vegetable, they prefer that. Can you tell me why? One side we are talking about the green, full colored and ornamented vegetables, if we talk out in that particular sense.
Sir, in fact, one of my bosses shared with me maybe 10-15 years back that when he goes to the market, he chooses brinjals which have some holes. I was surprised. Why so? He told the same thing. Means they have been eaten by insects, that means less of fertilizer and all. It was a surprise that I could know that time.
Actually,
of course, I am not following his advice.
We usually do not go by that way, but this is the reality. And even usually you have seen that, and this ecotoxicity has been impacting the what you can say, marine life and every other things, even the insects and the soil and every possible thing, which has been depleting the value, the nutrients of the soil, the organism which are there. So that is something important, and that is the reason why you might have we started preferring that organic products. Again, that is, I will not get into that. Greenwashing, and there are so many things, because on the name of organic, on the name of sustainable, you can sell off anything. These are the two big words which with that we can do marvelous things. Then we have, and thereafter we have environmental standards which we have to focus, that we will try to understand. And if we go by the Indian overview, as I said, in 2022, government has mandated that all top 1,000 Indian companies supposed to go by this BRSR reporting, or you can say the ESG reporting. They are supposed to conduct this ESG report. They have to prepare their ESG reports. It's a baby step, it's a nascent step, but it is most important step where we have to follow. These companies supposed to follow. If you dig deeper into the BRSR report, you'll find out that even at this stage it is nascent, but by this way it has been compliant to top 1,000 companies that you are supposed to follow each and everything, every bit and byte which have been mentioned over there, not up to a certain limit. Though in this also we do have a certain catches that we'll see. At the same time, you must have heard of the green bonds, sustainable bonds, and too many things, where how the companies are investing and other things, where you might have heard of the term called sustainable finance also, green finance and sustainable finance, where the major focus is that how the activities have been going green, how the activities are going sustainable, in how many such activities the companies are actually investing. The most important part is investors. In any company, the investor is somebody who's having a very critical role. And if you see, if you go by the survey, as ma'am has told in a previous class, that it is subjective. will be having certain biasness, agreed. But if you look at the investor's perspective, plastic reduction, most of the people are talking about the plastic reduction, that it is supposed to be there. Then if you talk about the community development, climate change is another important concern, and multicultural diversity. All these perspectives are important, but here if you see, most of the people are more concerned about the environmental dimension. And at this point of time, when we are talking about the shareholders or investors, I'm talking about the big investors, not retail investors like us, because we are mainly running behind the profit. But if you talk about the big investors, they are mainly looking into the ESG investments. How much investment the companies are making into the ESG in terms of the technology, in terms of the innovative products, innovative ways by which they can actually address the environmental, social or other challenges. If the company is genuinely doing investing, then the investors are more inclined towards such kind of companies. So this is what the importance and the significance of ESG is there at this point of time. One, if you see the possible solutions which we have discussed about the challenges, it is supply chain supposed to be closer to the home. In our yesterday's case, which we discussed about the sustainable kit, the things have been produced in a different part of the country, and travel time has been there, the distance they have covered, the logistics, the emissions and other things. Intervention of the technology and the strategic partnership, which ma'am has covered in due course of time. The point which we are trying to cover is the voluntary or mandatory reporting. At this point of time, still it is voluntary in nature, except these top 1,000 companies. But then now government is making it mandatory slowly and slightly. And if we try to understand the sustainability reporting landscape, most important part is that these are the certain frameworks which are there. And if you talk about this SASB and integrated reporting have been merged together, they have been mainly applied in US part, and they are known as a value reporting foundation now. Then the most important one is the GRI, which is a pioneer in this area, have been started off in somewhere in 1998. They published their first generation 1 standard in 2000, and this is one which actually talks about the impact part, which is most important, that how the companies are actually impacting. Then these reporting frameworks are basically based on the variety or number of the global standards, which are global goals and the principles which are available. SDGs, there are 17 SDGs are there, which are supposed to be inculcated and addressed under the various reporting standards. And the most important part, if we talk about, it is debatable, but still, because being a sustainability learner, we used to have this kind of query, that we usually use sustainability synonymous to the environment part. Right or wrong? We used to have 3 perspectives: economic, environment and social, which is supposed to be prioritized. First economic, then environment and then social. Somebody else may have a different viewpoint, please. Anybody else? Now there is a tie between economic and environment. Social is on the back side. Somebody else have any thought? It's a very and it's a common question usually if you have been going through the sustainability or ESG or this perspective.
It can be economical, then social, because CSR activities is mandatory for the organizations to conduct. Then comes the environmental. It's actually related with the social one.
Okay.
somewhat.
Okay, that we will try to find out in a later due course of time, that which is supposed to be prioritized. So we have a variety of those global principles and goals are there. Based on these goals and the given set of regulations, these frameworks used to be developed and company used to apply, they used to publish their reports. Are you doing right or wrong? Where we have been talking about efficiency and effectiveness. This is one of the case where we'll have to test both the parts. And when whatever you are doing, whatever reports you are publishing, that will be evaluated by some third party. There are ESG rating agencies are there who are used to evaluate, they used to collate the data from the website, from all possible sources from the ESG reports, and they used to rank the companies based on their performance, ESG performance or the sustainability performance. Bloomberg is there. We have been working on Bloomberg data for that ESG score. Then we have Refinitiv is there, which is actually working on MSCI. These are the variety of the rating agencies which used to rank the Indian global companies as such. In India, recently, CRISIL has been rating Indian agencies. So these are the rating agencies which are actually cross-checking our, as a company if I talk about, they are cross-checking our performance, that whatever we are reporting, is it in line or not, or it's simply a greenwashing. Now if you see yesterday's class, we talked about the TBL, that is triple bottom line, which talks about the profit, 3 P's of, not from the marketing perspective, people, planet and profits, which includes 3 dimensions. At the same time, there's another term called ESG, which talks about the environmental, social and governance. And finally, if you talk about the sustainability, actually includes both of them. This concept have been given by Elkington, which he has categorically told in our discussion we discussed, that it is not possible that we should focus only on the environmental dimension, ignore the social one or ignore the economic one. So supposed to be balanced, but it is very difficult to balance each and everything, because environment have a inverse relationship with economics. We have to invest more. Am I correct or wrong? Economics and environment have an inverse relationship. Not a straightforward question. It seems straight, but not. If that is the case, you'll find out most of the companies will be not investing in the environmental practices, apart from beyond the compliances. Whatever is there in the compliances, they will do so, but beyond the compliance, they will not do so. If this is the case.
Whenever any organization or an industry gets the approval for setting up an industry, they have some certain guidelines to obey. So that guideline is based on the parameter or the performance efficiency of that equipment or that plant. If your product or if your outcome is harming your environment, your equipment or a plant is not running at your rated capacity or rated efficiency, that means you are operating your plant in a less efficient way. So if you are impacting environment, that means that you are not operating your plant properly. If you are not operating your plant properly, means you are also losing at your efficiency also. So this is an indication that you are impacting your environment as well as you are impacting your profitability also.
So actually, if you see, this is one of the very common graph from the marketing, if you remember, product life cycle. And this economics and environment also follow the same. For a period of time, in a short duration of the time, yes, our profits will get affected. But in a long run, it will be started diminishing, means the cost will start diminishing and the profits will get benefited. And usually in operations, we used to have that when we talk about this, profit is having a very simple formula. SP minus CP, which we have studied in class 8. Being a company, what we can do? Our job is to take care of this one. This cannot be affected at any cost of time. So what we can do? Selling price and cost price. So either we can increase this and we can increase our profit,
or decrease the,
or we can decrease CP and increase the profit. What is supposed to be done?
selling price is not permitted all the times, but cost of operation, cost price can be managed.
Being an operations guy, the major focus is on the CP part. That we have to reduce down the CP, and when we are talking about the reduction in the CP, in a long run I am talking about, then we have to invest in the technologies. It is investment in technology is mandatory, and then only we can actually address this one. Otherwise, if you are increasing CP, the customers will immediately switch. They are, we have a term called customer loyalty. Sorry to say, but the customers are actually not loyal. Price is something which is loyal to the customers. So as and when we, when the price, there is a fluctuation in the price, customer may switch. So this is one particular area which is very risky to touch. So being a company, we have to focus on the cost part. If we talk about the differences between the annual, usually the companies used to publish the annual reports, and now the sustainability report is another report which has been introduced. And if you see the major differences, it is talking about the broad set of stakeholders, because it is not only related to only to the investors. Now everybody, whosoever is there in this linked to that, everybody will have will be a part of this. If you talk about the community, supply chain partners, they are directly involved. Even the government, consumers, everybody have been a part of this. So if you look at the sustainability reports, they are more comprehensive, which actually tells what a company is actually doing. Previously, this is the report. With the help of this, we are doing everything good, it's good. But now, not with your financial statements. Financial statement is okay. That is the one perspective that we have to look into. But another important thing is that we have to look into the sustainability reports also, how they are doing. And this is something which is important in a long run when we are talking about. Because when we are talking about, like as we told, efficient, this tells the effectiveness. Because it is not just a report. If you look at from the strategy perspective, how you have been performing over the years, that can be actually assessed with your sustainability reports, and you can strategize based on the sustainability reports. Either your emissions are going down or not. What about the water wastewater if you talk about, or if you talk about the social dimensions, everything has been reported in numbers. And over the period of time when we are reporting all these perspectives in numbers, that actually help us as a person in terms of the long-term strategy when we are designing. At the same time, most of the reports are supposed to be public in the domain, so that every person can have access to these reports and can decide what they wanted to do. As I told, the GRI is one of the pioneer which has been foundation of almost every sustainability reports. If you talk about Indian perspective, we have BRSR, that is Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reports, which has been from 2021 onward has been mandated. Previously it was in 2013, that was a BRR, Business Responsibility Report, where this concept has been coined. MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, with GRI, they have formulated that this BRR on the basis of national voluntary guidelines, that whatever we are doing, that should be reported, and there they have published this BRR. Later, it has been more refined with the increasing changes and other things, because if you talk about the governance perspective, governance is something which is a continuous process. So every day there is a change, and that change supposed to be addressed. So in even this report also in 2021 came up with the BRSR, and in 2022 they have made it mandatory for 1,000 companies, top 1,000 companies, mandated by SEBI particularly. So these if you go into the GRI 2021 report, it is somewhere around 862 page report, and the best part is the term supplier has been somewhere used around 517 times. So when we are talking about the supply chain, I'm trying to connect the dots. When we are talking about the suppliers or responsibility, or the one term we discussed about the producer's responsibility, 517 times this term has been used in the report, which is talking about a variety of the different standards and disclosures. If you talk about the GRI standards, it's basically include 3 different set of standards and 33 different disclosures, where GRI 101 is talking about the foundation one, where GRI 101 is talking about the basic foundation. 103 is talking about the material topics. It is something which is very, very much important when we are drafting or formulating the sustainability report. And then we have journal disclosures in 102. They all are related to the governance part. In due course of time, because that one doesn't fit all. In sustainability and in management, we used to say this term that one doesn't fit all. So for that reason, even the sector standards have been developed by the GRI. Different sectors have their different set of standards depending upon the material topics. Now, when we are talking, we'll discuss about the material topics, and then we have GRI 200 series, we have a GRI 300 series and GRI 400 series. GRI 200, as it is talking about the economic, this one is talking about the environmental, and the 400 series is talking about the social perspective. Now, when we are talking about the GRI, or when we are talking about the sustainability report, the 4 important perspectives are there. How you are impacting, means as a business, how I am impacting the society, the environment, and the human life as a whole. So there at that point of time, that is something which is very decisive when we are looking into the material topics. What are the key areas which are going to impact the business? And here when we are talking about this, it could be positive impact. Every time a business does not have a negative impact. So if it is, even if it's a positive, that we have to record it. Even if it is a negative, that also supposed to be recorded, because this negative one supposed to be minimized. I'm not saying that it should be eliminated, but supposed to be minimized. And when we are choosing these material topics, we are supposed to pay a due diligence that we are choosing the right topic, right material topic. And other way around, if you see, that instead of topic, if you use the term challenge, is comparatively known and convenient. So we need to find out what are the key challenges. And when we are choosing these topics, we are supposed to pay a due diligence to select in the selection of these topics. And when we are selecting these topics, the important part is that we have to include every stakeholder. And when we are doing this complete process, then only we are able to make a genuine and authentic subjective report, sustainability report. So these 4 have their own role in, and if you want to go in details, this is GRI disclosures is there. It is available on internet. If you go through that, you will find out detailed information on what does impact mean, how we'll have to choose the material topics. Recently, we have one project we have done on MSMEs that we were trying to understand, because if you go by the SEBI's report, they have mandated in 2023, they have mandated top 1,000 companies. Maybe in due course of time, the rest of the companies will be there in the line. Those who are registered in SEBI, those who are actually trading in the stock market. But how about the SMEs? Where they are the suppliers. And we'll try to understand when we'll see in due course of time that they are the one, because your report, sustainability report, will not be furnished, not be complete till the time you are not including your suppliers. So they are supposed to be inculcated, and when we are talking about the SMEs, there is no such things are available during, so there we have gone through the perspective, especially it is sector specific, so we have been into the manufacturing part, so we picked up that too in steel area. There, based on their recommendations, you have to decide about the material topics. You have to verify with the experts, domain experts, and then only you can proceed further, because based on our material topics, the reporting will come into the picture. If, for example, services may have a different material topics, service industry may have a different material topics from the manufacturing sector. So it is very much important to understand the materiality, what exactly the material topics are. And based on that only, we have to proceed further for the reporting part. In addition to that, if you see the principles, the reporting principles, again, back to the term, effectiveness. We have published our report, all good. By end of the day, if it has been gone into the dustbin, we published our report, nobody is actually reading that, then that's of no use. So the most important part is that it should communicate some sort of value to the stakeholders, and for that it is supposed to be accurate, it should be balanced and have a clarity. Usually being a researcher, we used to use some of the big terms which are not able to not well comprehended by a normal person, because I am a researcher, I have to show off. So I'll use some very big short terms which may not be well communicated to the people, and that actually is not suffice, because by end of the day I am not able to clarify what I am willing to communicate. So the clarity is something which is important. Comparability, as I said, when we are publishing a report on year-on-year basis, and if we are keep on publishing, there is no improvement is there in the sustainability dimensions, then the report is of actually no use. It should have a completeness, should be addressing the various perspectives of the different disclosures which are there under the different standards. It should be inculcating every possible thing. It is just not like that we are simply providing a descriptive report. It should address the sustainability context, means everything is from the same dimension. Justice delayed is justice denied. One of the big term from Code of Law. Similarly, same with the sustainability. For 2023 report or for 2024 report, if I am publishing somewhere in 26 or 27, by that time I have done enough work to damage the environment. So it is important that we have been publishing the report on time, and that's the reason why somewhere in the month of June or something, they have to submit their sustainability report or something. I publish my report, or you have written your paper. And if you are evaluating, obviously if I am writing a paper and I'll be evaluating, I'll be giving, if I'm a bit generous, at least 90 marks I can give myself. Simply, if a company is publishing its own report, though they have to publish, and they are verifying by themselves, because I being a company, I will not be wrong. So the most important part is that is a third party assurance which is in picture. Now companies are probably, they have to give their assurance report from the third party, that the anything which is there, which is documented in these reports are authentic and genuine, credible, and the different stakeholders can actually rely on the given set of information. Because by end of the day, the investors and other stakeholders, forget about the stakeholders, investors are making their decision based on the given set of report. If you talk about the mutual funds, insurance and others, they are deciding to pick up the given set of stock based on the given set of reports, including various other aspects, but this is one of the key parameter. If it is not verified, then there is a possibility. One of the example, if you remember, Satyam 2008. Corporate governance issue. They have been diverting their money to Mitas, their sister concern, and it was that process have been keep on going for 5 years. So the most important part is that in order to avoid such kind of phenomena, it is important that it should be verified by the third party, but not very sure that it is good to go, because end of the day we used to have an asterisk mark. Any information which is any research which used to be published, there is an asterisk mark, subject to the condition. So it might be a possibility that something may went wrong. And when we are talking about the GRI, it actually includes all these, as I told, that the guidelines, the disclosures, the guidelines and the frameworks that have been well included into the GRI. That's the reason why this has been a most comprehensive one, which have been followed by variety of the countries with respect to, and at the same time it includes every perspective. Now we are in process, like GRI and researchers are in process where they are trying to triangulate GRI and SDGs in a number form, in a quantitative form. In a qualitative form we do have that, but they are trying to merge both the perspective in a quantitative format, where anything which have been reported, because otherwise they are working in isolation. So they are when they both are talking about the sustainability, so they should communicate the same set of meaning. If I am reading one, I can at least understand the another one. Now if we talk about the specific standards, we used to have general standards and a specific, and these are the core, where you have been talking about economic, you have been talking about the environment, and you have been talking about the social, though this has not been there, and environmental compliance is not there. So this is having 7, this is having 7, and this is having 18. And when we are talking about the emissions, scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3, that is another thing. And when we are talking about scope 3, this is the one where suppliers actually come into the picture. What impact they are actually doing in terms of emission, that has supposed to be calculated. Now at one point of time, our suppliers are small. If they are big, then it's good to go. But if they are small in size, then there is no specific measures are available. And how my GRI or how my sustainability report will be completed when I am not actually talking about the scope 3. So for that reason, when they are the suppliers, they are the small firms, so it is important that they should also get into the same loop. If they are reporting, then only we can say that everything has been intact, and we can actually, whatever be the outcome is coming out, that is, we can actually work on that. Even if you go in detail about the materials, again they have been talking about the recycling, they have been talking about the reclaiming, the material which we are using for transportation and others, what kind of material that is, the material which is that material is recycled, it is a virgin material which we are using, the core material, or it is a recycled material we are using. So every possible thing should be given in numbers. The best part is that here the things will be given in numbers. So over the period of time, if we are mentioning something in a qualitative format, it's comparatively easier to communicate. By today what we are communicating, tomorrow we can communicate in a different sense, because that is subjective. But when something is there in the number form, then the changing that particular number is a very difficult assignment. So everything what we are talking about, they are supposed to be given in numbers. Then if you see this 308 talking about the assessment of suppliers. Even here in this there are disclosures which talk about the selection of suppliers based on their environmental assessment. When we are selecting the new suppliers, we have to go by the their environmental assessment. At the same time, if you see in social, we used to have a social assessment of the suppliers. So as I said, 517 times the term supplier has actually came into the picture. At the same time, when we are talking about the scope 3, which again talks about the supplier, so supply chain when we are can't be work in silos without considering the sustainability. And even if the big firms, when we are talking about, they are supposed to, when they are giving their reports, when they are publishing their reports, the inclusion of their suppliers is important. And because if you see all these standards which have been mentioned over here, and when you go in deeper, you'll find out that every point of time they have been asking about the suppliers. Even when we are talking about the human rights, when we are talking about the child labor or forced or compulsory labor, they have been very categorically talking about the suppliers. What is the status of your suppliers? Do they engage or involve compulsory labor? And for compulsory labor, Foxconn is one of the examples, though it is a very good big company. And this is our Indian principles, 9 principles on which we are working. Based on these 9 principles, we used to have our BRSR report. And if you dig deeper into that, you'll find out that they all are actually, when you look into the report, you'll find out that they all have been extracted from the GRI. Based on the GRI itself, this BRSR has been developed over the period of time from 2008 to 2023. It has evolved a lot. And this is one of the significant steps which has been taken by Ministry of Corporate Affairs to address the sustainability dimension, because by if we go by the SDGs, that is for 2030, we have to talk about, because sustainable development goals for 15 years of duration. So we'll have to achieve that in a positive note. And these 9 principles are actually talking about the portions which we have discussed in our GRI 1. It includes, it is not very much segregated, but they include each and every perspective. Now let's go back to the same question. Which is most important, economic, environment or social? If you have gone through the numbers, you might guess.
On a case-to-case basis, again, like you said, that inverse relationship between the economic and environment. In short run, obviously that inverse relationship exists, but in longer run, the relationship becomes similar. So, sir, it's very tough to say which one will be 1, 2, and 3, because it will depend upon situation to situation, case to case, in which phase the company or the corporate is functioning.
Based on explicit, I'm not talking about the implicit information, based on the explicit information which we have been here till, means based on the variety of the frameworks and numbers.
So, environment, social, and then economic.
Environment?
Environment, social, and economic.
Somebody else have any suggestion?
Three things are correlated to each other.
No, that is true.
But suppose if I will not gain, then I will not invest in the for environment.
Economics first.
Economics the first. If I will get profit, then I will invest for the sustainability, for the environment. Then after getting the benefit, then I will go for the social things.
Okay. Some young brilliant minds. Any guess? It's a guess, not mandatory. Means something what you are telling is going to be true, not necessarily. Economic, environment or social? That will help us out, because I'll tell you, means I'll show you the the data points that will help you out to. Okay, so just based on the calculations, if you see 1, 2, 4, 4, 3, 7, 4, 4, 3, 7, 4, 6, 10. So there is a tie between economic and environmental, and social is at the last stage. As per our now here, if you see specific standards, they are 18. This is 7, this is 7. Again, another thing is SDGs. If you talk about, there are 17 SDGs. Out of 17, 8 are talking about the social. So I'm talking about the based on the numbers. Depending upon the conditions, it may change. So, but if you go by the numbers, when the standards are more, obviously that must be having a certain weightage. And in both the cases, even if you talk about the GRI, even if you talk about the SDG, in both the cases, and they have been universal standards which have been applied across the board. So, based on these two things, we could say that not affirmative, but still social, then economic and environment. Based on the numbers I am talking about. And even if you go back to the MDG also, there also you will find out majority of the portion have been focused more on the social dimension. And these are the variety of the reporting frameworks comparison which have been given. If you see this GRI which has been commonly used, it's mainly talk about how, and the most important part is talk about how business impact on the society. Even if you talk about, if you see the SASB, or now it is a value reporting foundation, ESG issues impact the business and mainly about investors. Though if you talk about the CDP, it is restricted. If you talk about TCFD, they are again restricted. But if you talk about, even if you talk about the global GC, that is having a focus on a very limited area. But as in, again, this one, these are the two actual frameworks which are holistically talking about the stakeholders and mainly focusing on the holistic perspective of every possible individual or person or the community whosoever is getting affected out of our businesses. That is the reason why these are the framework which have been widely used by a variety of the countries. And this is the basic summary which again have been published by the KPMG report. If you go through that, you will find out that now the focus of the investors has been keep on increasing to invest in the ESG one, where rapid investment in the sustainability capabilities has been top priority. Now people are investing more into the ESG investments, and even if you look at the ESG funds that have been keep on increasing, which shows that the investors are more inclined toward ESG, more inclined toward the climate change. Now people are trying to understand the significance of climate change, I would say. Still, I will not say the sustainability, but again, the urgency to work for the climate change that people have started in understanding, and that's the reason why they have been investing more into the environmental perspective. So, with this, we are trying to wind up the session for the day. If you have any query, you may ask. Thank you.